Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a Friday show, and joining me, Mitch Morrison's back for some more abuse.
Hey, I love me some bills. Oh
And,
yeah.
of course, my name is CareyHolzman, a computer technician in the industry now for over 30 years, and we're going to do a system build today. I haven't done much with AMD. I haven't had much luck with the amount of support, the hand-holding they require, but I wanted to see how they've evolved over the last year with the new socket AM5. This will be my first socket AM5, yours too.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go big or go home. So this is the big build blowout.
You always remember your first time. You know what I mean? Although you built me an AMD in the White Stormtrooper.
And how's that been for you?
It's great. Yeah.
How often do you use it?
I do some, but
it's not your main machine.
But not the black, 450D Corsair.
What do you have? 4 computers?
Yeah. And I got the little 250D Corsair in my laundry room.
Are you still using the little Azul stick PC?
Oh yeah, in the screening room.
So is that 5 computers?
Love
or
it,
is that
love
4?
it. That's 5. It's 5. Yeah.
He lives alone.
With my evil twin. All right.
5 computers.
Yeah.
You might have a problem.
Yeah.
Of course, who am I to talk? But wait a minute. This is what I do for a living.
And one full laptop. Who said that? All right.
Apple.
MacBook Air. And my sister-in-law conned me into it. It was a lot of money. I could have bought two Windows PCs for the price of that.
Listen to the excuses.
Yeah.
That's all right. We forgive you.
Yeah, but I only use it when I travel, which is quite a bit.
You know, someone broke into my house and they stole all of my fruit.
Hmm? They're nuts. Huh?
I don't know, but I'm peachless. I had to get that out of the way before I forgot it. You probably wish I forgot.
Yeah, indubitably. So how's everybody doing this Friday? End of the year, is it me or did 2023 go by like that? So
isn't it interesting when you're a kid? It seems like the year takes forever.
Ever.
And then the older you get, the faster they go.
You just blink and you're like, ugh, where did the year go? So
how was your 2023?
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vietnam for 5 weeks and the motorcycle ride that I was going to go for a month, but the weather turned nasty. But that was 2 weeks. Going to do it all kind of again.
You're talking about California going up the Pacific Coast Highway. Yeah, what a shame when you get bad. It gets really cloudy, real foggy.
Yeah.
And then you can't see anything, and it's an astonishing view.
Yeah.
When I had the Mini Cooper, I did that drive from. It's like up through Bakersfield, I want to say, and then up through Big Sur.
Carmel.
Where
Clint Eastwood.
Carmel. What a beautiful little city.
Where Clint Eastwood.
I had the best fish and chips there at just some little dive bar.
Clint Eastwood used to own the bar, the Boar's Head.
He was the
Boar's Head,
mayor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boar's Head, yeah. Used to play the piano in there on occasion. So, just a beautiful, I like the drive south because you're on the outside, of course.
Well, that's me going home. Like going
home.
I went back the same way because it's a beautiful drive. But went up to Monterey, did the Monterey Aquarium. And
I love that.
That was a long time ago. That had to be 2010, I think.
Yeah. And when I did that, is that this year, I guess, or last year, that Monterey Aquarium, a one-day pass was like 55 beans. But it was well worth it. I mean, it was
still cheaper than Disneyland, and the money's going to the it's not just going to the Walt Disney.
Yeah, I mean, I spent 3 hours in there, went by like that, and I could have walked around more, but I'm old, so
it's not that big. But I feel differently when I'm paying for admission into a place like SeaWorld than Disneyland, because I know the money's going to the right cause to feed these animals. Can you imagine what it would cost in food to feed a whale every day? So whether or not it's humane to entrap them or whatever, it's not for me. But
two or three seals at least. Yeah.
But I just feel better about the entrance fee.
Yeah.
I would never complain it's too much because they're taking care of animals. You go to Disneyland, it's way more money.
Yeah.
And what do you get? Nothing. You still got to pay for everything. I was really in the mood for fish and chips at SeaWorld, and none of the concession stands at SeaWorld offered fish and chips. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it. It's like, probably why they shouldn't take me to a dairy farm. I'd probably be in the mood for a steak.
And as I've researched this coming summer, Australia, because I want to go in the shark cage when they chum the water and the great white comes right up to the shark cage. A couple of reviews said people, I think it's like $600, and they don't guarantee that a sharks are going to come up. Certain time of the year, you know, they'll give you 300 of your 600 back if none of them show up. But I'm like, well, that's maybe in the summer, because our winter is their summer, and I want to go in July, so our summer is their winter, and I think the sharks prefer cooler water than that. They don't like heat that much, hot water. So I'm like,
well, I'll let you do. If I'm not there, you start with that. What you can do in Australia that I would love to do, swimming with whale sharks, which are very gentle,
right,
large, white spotted.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just eat plankton and stuff. They're not meat eaters, and they just look gentle giants. It just looks magical.
You know, move very slowly
versus you know, being attacked and having a cage save you. So you go ahead and do that, and I wish you the best, man.
Yeah, it's just that 17-hour flight from Los Angeles to Sydney. I'm kind of like,
and you lose a day. You'll leave on Monday and arrive on a Wednesday.
And business class chat one way would be $7,000, where I think I can get a one-way in economy for $1,000. So, you know, there's a giant difference there. So I'm like, maybe just pop an Ambien.
Maybe just walk.
Yeah. So,
welcome in, everybody. How's the chat room doing here? We got Douglas Burchell in there, and Mark Gaines, Mortot 1210 joining us, Thomas MacT, LRCX, Les Stevenson, and John Paul Bacon, Captain Blinsky, and Josh Kinder, Gary Tatum. There's Randy Roblowski, and missed a couple super chats. There's Alan Lindas, just had a birthday, 71 years old. Happy birthday to Alan Lindas. Contributes $7.77. He says, Alan says, hello, Carey, Mitch, Marlena, and chat. Here is my on-time fee.
We were on time.
Mike Vision says hello. He says, good day. Alhaj Japej, Bill Sony. Mike Visions contributes £2. Good day, gentlemen and Marlena. Hope you're okay. I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Are you good? Everybody's good.
Yeah. Hey, it's Friday. It's not good, it's great.
The last Friday of the year.
Yeah. 2024. Let's hope it's better than 2023. So
I'd like it to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
PSC Computers Missouri with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that. And Shop Persian Rugs contributes $2 and says, hope you guys are well. Looks like a fun build. It's definitely going to be
FUN, fun.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I said the N. Okay, yep.
Starts with an F and ends with a CK. Fire truck?
Yeah.
Ben Laird with a £2 contribution says hello from Scotland.
I bet it's chilly there.
You think it's raining?
Chilly. I need chili.
Jeremy Kramer became a supporter. Ron Barnish says hello. Welcome in, Ron. Jason Willis saying hello, as well as Darren Gilholm and Eddie Casanova, Terry Trina, and David Moore. Welcome in, guys. And there's Rick Lakes joining us from, speaking of cold, Minnesota, and Dwayne Blackwelder, Kurt Schlegel, Thomas Backenstow, CFWW says we're wishing you the best in 2024. Thank you. You too, my friend.
Thomas got the little one, right? Whenever I see his name, he got the little red one, right?
Thomas Backenstow got the
little one that I like. Yeah, that I liked.
The little black and red.
Yeah.
Mark Gaines with a £5 contribution, joining us from Northern Ireland, says hello, Carey, Marlene, DG, and Mitch. Also check your email. All right, well, we'll check email here before we get started. Let's see. What do we got?
TP says
one message.
Hello from Toronto. That's a city that I've never been.
You've never been to Toronto?
That's definitely on my bucket list. Shame on me, because it was closer when we were living in Michigan.
Yeah, about 4 hours away.
Yeah.
And it's an expensive city. Of course, it looks like any other downtown. But
but they shoot a lot of movies here, because it doubles for New York, I think.
And Mark Gaines sends a $50 Amazon gift card. Right on, Mark. Well, thank you for your continued support and generosity. I just ordered last night I used up all my gift card money and then had to default to the credit card again for 2 more of those 22 terabyte drives that are refurbished for $300 a piece, because TerraMaster is going to send us a 4-drive brand new model. I think we'll be the first ones to review it. And then what I think I'm going to do after I review it is I'm going to hand it off to you, because you have an older Synology.
A DS918 Plus, which means that
Came out in 2018.
In 2018.
So this model, I'd be curious, because Mitch is not a computer nerd. He's just like a regular. He has a computer like most people without, being so obsessed with it. Although he has his own obsessions. He obviously has 5.
Yeah.
But he's not at the level where, he's constantly upgrading and taking them apart. He more or less wants it a certain way, and then he just uses it.
8-year build.
Something to be learned from that. He's not just benchmarking and trying to reach.
If it
he's
works,
actually
it works,
using it. So in any event, I would be curious what his perception, his experience is when all he knows is Synology. That's all he's ever used. So to switch that over for TerraMaster, to have him use TerraMaster's versions of apps that he's using on Synology, like Plex and others, I'd be very curious if he thinks it's better, imperceptibly the same, or worse. Again, he's got no incentive to be positive or negative. It just is what it is. So that, to me, is the best way to review something. So we'll do our review here as we normally do it. Then when it's done, you're going to have 22, 44, 66 terabytes of storage, which, look, if you don't like the unit, I guess it won't matter how much storage you've got. The good news is, if you don't like the unit, we'll always have another unit coming in, and we can pull the drives, put it into the next one. And if you do like the unit, well, then there you go.
I have made space in my audio video rack right next to the Synology, boom, to put the TerraMaster right there. And so
and you can just copy everything right off the Synology right onto the TerraMaster.
I don't know how.
Just right over the network.
Are you going to show me how, Uncle Carey?
Yeah, well, you already have a map drive
to
your Synology. You'll map another drive to the TerraMaster.
And just plug
and you'll just like when you copy to a flash drive, you're going to take up everything on the Synology, and
over the network.
You'll say copy.
Okay.
And you go over to the TerraMaster, and you'll say paste.
Oh.
And then depending on how much data you've got, you might wait 2 days.
Well, that's all right.
Because it's a gigabit network you've got. So even though the TerraMaster has 2.5 gig networking, which would cut that time more in half.
Yeah, but
than in half.
I only got Cox Gigablast,
It has nothing to do with that.
Oh.
This is on your own, just in your building.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
From one NAS to the other. But nonetheless, it's just a copy and paste. It's very simple. And then what I would recommend you do is power the Synology off. Don't do anything with it. Just shut it down.
Okay.
And then force yourself to use only the TerraMaster. And if you can't stand it, then go back to the Synology.
Right.
And then just take anything you've added and copy it back over to the Synology. That way but if you do enjoy it, well, then just that'll be the last time that Synology ever gets powered on.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Now, you could leave them both on if you wanted to, but I just think it's...
And what do in the Synology, I have four 8-terabyte drives, and then one's redundant, right? So I got 24 terabytes of thing, and according to my storage manager, I'm 65% full, which made me nervous, but
no, you don't have to be nervous until you're about 10%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's still a lot of space. Maybe 9 terabytes.
Maybe at 15%, you might start being a little worried, but at 65%, you're not even half.
Right.
So if you were not even half, you probably have 10 terabytes, copying 10 terabytes over the network.
And you're sure TerraMaster for my brand new iPhone 15 Pro, they've got apps just like Synology does. So we'll find out. Yeah.
That's what your job is.
Okay. Yeah. Because I like to,
I'm going to put you to work.
My music and
You're going to tell me that.
My movies.
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
In theory, TerraMaster should have the equivalent of many of the apps. I think Synology is the king of the apps when it comes to variety, but like the ones you're using are pretty common.
Yeah, just Plex and audio.
It shouldn't matter if you were using ASUS store, TerraMaster, Synology. They should all have like Plex and the very commonly used apps. And even something like for backing up and for synchronizing and all that stuff, which you're not using.
Yeah.
Randy Robloski with $4.99 says, Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you all have a blessed New Year. Well, thank you. And back at you, my friend.
Oh, I went for a motorcycle ride on Christmas Day, not first thing in the morning, but about maybe 1:30. You know, the weather was sweet, little cool, which was nice, but nobody on the road. Oh, it was heaven. You know, for a big city like Phoenix, you know,
That's a rare
yeah,
occurrence,
that's
unless it's
rare.
3
I
o'clock in
mean,
the
so and did not see a single cop, which made me nervous because if you were working as a police officer, that meant you were low man on the totem pole because you couldn't get it off. So you weren't going to be happy if you were a family man. But, oh yeah, double time on a holiday. So, but that was great riding.
Russell Stewart joins us in the chat, says hello. There's Jason Ryrick. He says, I'm interested in the Synology if you want to sell it. Well, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. We got to get the TerraMaster, which hasn't been sent to us yet. Got to review the TerraMaster. And Mitch will probably need, I'm going to guess, at least a month, if not 2 months, before he's going to establish. I mean, unless he just loves it right out of the box. Like if it's so much faster and more responsive. And he also might find it more intuitive or less intuitive, depending on, you know, what his feelings are with regards to what it was like to set up the Synology. Everybody's different in this way. So yeah, maybe reach out to him in a couple months and see where he's at with that. David Moore says, Carey, come to the UK. We have the best fish and chips in the world. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I'm telling you, I would go from chippy to chippy if I were there. I would probably have fish and chips every day.
Okay.
Probably because that's the only thing British I'll eat. Nothing else looks appealing. David Graham with $5 Super Chat says, Happy New Year. Wishing you a great one. Thank you, David. Jason Ryrick says, I just wanted to get dibs on it first. All right. Well, reach out to him. Check in around February.
I'll certainly come back and let everybody know my feelings. Yeah.
We'll be talking about it.
Yeah.
David Graham's been a member now for 4 months. Right on. Thank you, David, for renewing your membership. And Nick Caffrey joined membership. Right on. Thanks, guys. Again, thank you for supporting the channel. And I just want to go back, make sure I didn't miss anybody here before we get started. I think we're going to need a camera girl. Are you ready?
For this wild build?
All right. So I think what I'm going to do, these are all the parts we're using in today's build. So just to quickly go through these parts. I don't need you yet, camera girl. I'm going to go over the parts. Yeah. So let's go to window capture here. It's the one part I didn't set up before the stream. There we go. Okay, so this is the motherboard we're using. This is an outrageous graffiti-inspired ASRock B650 AMD socket AM5 LiveMixer motherboard, 23 USB ports. Now that's including the ones that are built on the board that you plug into. A total of 23. Is that enough USB ports you need?
Indubitably.
And then we're going to pair that with the Ryzen 9 7950X3D. You see, that's a $630 processor. I said this was the big build, the big blowout build, and I wasn't kidding around. This is those two parts alone, we're looking after sales tax around $900. We haven't even gotten to the storage, RAM, case, or power supply.
CPU speed 4.2 gigahertz.
And it does say it comes with an AMD Radeon graphics controller. I didn't think this had a graphics card.
Yeah, integrated, because I asked Carey before the show. I'm like, does it require?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're going to have to put a graphics card in this. But I'm so unfamiliar with AMD. I'm accustomed to the letter G being in the title of the name of the chip. And this does not have that letter G, so I made the false assumption that we would need to add a graphics card. But now this tells us down here that it comes with a graphics controller. So that's obviously an APU.
So you don't know everything. Almost.
Life would be very boring if I knew it.
Yeah.
By the way, you better get that checked out by
Yeah. Okay.
Cowboy Rowdy with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Cowboy Rowdy. He says, hello, Carey, Marlena, Mitch, and chat. Hey, there's Peter Laycock. There's Buster.
Yeah.
The 10-pound contribution says, good evening, Carey and Marlena, Mitch, and everyone in the chat. All the best from Monty, Scotland, where the temperature in Edinburgh, 33 degrees Fahrenheit, which is half a degree Celsius.
Ooh.
Sounds a little chilly.
Yeah.
Douglas Burchell wants me to check my email. So let's check the email here real quick. Everybody's feeling generous. Cowboy Rowdy contributed a $50 Amazon gift card. Hey, right on. Thank you, Cowboy Rowdy. And $30 from Dan Nilsson. Who was the one telling me to check my email? Douglas Burchell? I don't have anything from you yet, Douglas. But thank you for reminding me to check my email. And thank you guys again for your support, your generosity, because, well, today's project, let's just say thank goodness for credit cards.
What other parts can you show them?
Well, we're going to go with this crazy cooler. Wow. This is based, I think, on some anime called Evangelion, which I've never heard of. I think it was on like one season in the 90s or something. And it's got a following. I don't know.
Okay.
And it was the only red cooler I could find. I didn't even think I was going to find one.
Right.
And with red and black, you can always go black, right?
Yeah.
Now, this cooler is very expensive. This is the most expensive all-in-one cooler I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it's also got this really cool screen on the front of it. And it's made by ASUS, who makes very good, in my experience, very effective all-in-one coolers. Mm-hmm. Go big or go home, right? So now we're over $1,300 on 3 parts. That's why I say this thing's going to be expensive. Yeah. Now, you ever seen RAM that has built-in cooling fans?
No.
How crazy is this? Now, this is very tall RAM. So this is another reason we need to use a liquid cooler, because I think an air cooler would have clearance issues.
I'm curious to see how noisy those get. Although RAM is RAM, you know.
I don't think you're going to hear them at all. The fans are super tiny and they probably don't spin all that fast. Kind of reminds me of a police car, like from The Fifth Element or something.
Don't you use a lot of RAM when you're video encoding? Or no?
So depending on how you video encode, what software you're using, different software does it different ways. So something like Handbrake may utilize more RAM or more CPU or more GPU or CUDA cores than, say, Cyberlink Power Director or Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They don't all perform the same under the same hardware. Some are more GPU heavy, some are more CPU heavy, some may be more RAM heavy. So also depends on what resolution. Are you doing 4K, 8K? They've got 12K now.
So the fans light up as well as the logo. That's cool.
Yeah, although I don't know how you're supposed to see the second RAM stick
when
the first one's going to be
true.
kind of blocking. But then you'll see it. Look at the speed on this RAM, 8,000. I've never even knew they made RAM that fast. And another $300. And now we're what?
13, 16.
And then over here, we've got 4 terabytes of Gen 5 NVMe. So 4 terabytes you can pick up for $300, under $300 for Gen 3, possibly Gen 4. As soon as you go to Gen 5, you go from 7,000 megabytes per second to 12,400 megabytes per second. Now, by the middle or end of 2024, we should see these at around 15,000 megabytes per second. We're just not there yet. But 12.4 is nothing to shake a stick at. And 4 terabytes. I could have gone with 2, but then that wouldn't be a big build blowout now, would it? So there's $500.
Pardon me, I'm drooling. Right.
So I think we're over. If we're not at $2,000 yet, we're really close.
Yeah.
Now for the power supply.
How did you find a red one?
Yeah, Cougar. Yeah. Remember with the robot's foot?
Oh yeah.
This is the same power supply I used on robot's foot, and I remembered it.
Okay.
And I said, I wonder if it's still available. And it is. It's modular. It's got the colors we want. Good to go. And then I had a hard time deciding on a case, so I decided to go with this Gamdias. And it was a pretty good price. There's a $20 coupon here, so it was like $149. My only concern about this case is it's very wide.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it should allow us to put our big red cooler lengthwise
on the side, yeah,
so we can see it, appreciate it.
Right.
So if you look at some of these photos here, You can lay the case flat and have it as a traditional desktop, or you can set it upright.
Yeah.
And it should hold the length of cooler that we've got either on the top or across the back side, which is where I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if we're going to get to the case today or the power supply today. We really need to prep this motherboard. But this is the video they have here that kind of shows the breakdown of, that's where I want to put the radiator, just like that. That way we'll see the RGB.
Get 10 fans.
I won't put fans on the bottom or the top.
Top.
That's ridiculous. And look at how that rotates so that.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of value for the money.
I think it's a good value, but it's a lot of computer case. Definitely not something I'm going to want to ship. That's probably going to be the size of the box. If you take a regular computer case box and double it, that's about size box that arrived in. Just got it this morning before the show. Talk about being close, playing it close. We got it in red and black, so you'll see there's the red and black one on the end.
Yep.
And then that should match the board.
Beautiful.
The cooler, all of it. All right, let's go back over to camera 1. Who's excited for this build?
Me.
All right, now I need camera girl. One of the things I have here is this CPU contact frame. And the CPU contact frame, I think, is a big gimmick that most of you out there, in my opinion, will be wasting your money if you buy one of these. So here's the deal. This is going to, when we close the lid and latch the lever down to hold the CPU.
Correct.
Well, Intel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes. Well, this replaces that. And you see, it got it in red, but once the cooler goes on top of it, you're not going to see the color. So this one's like $10. They're not that expensive. But unless you're an extreme overclocker, if you're someone looking to get every single degree, to get every single little megahertz, then it's for you. But for everybody else, save your money, don't buy these. I decided to do it because I think it looks cool. I've never installed a CPU contact frame before. We're not going to be doing any overclocking. There's really no benefit on an AMD to even have this. It's more a concern for Intel chips that are rectangular, and they can, in theory, bend in the middle when they get really, really hot from overclocking over a period of time because they're rectangular. The AMD chips are perfectly square and are not susceptible to that, but don't let that stop a manufacturer from convincing you to spend your money to buy some unnecessary piece of hardware. So I want to emphasize, if you're a hobbyist and you're looking for something for fun, this is for fun. You're trying to break a record with how fast you can get your computer to go and add more voltage to it and get every single degree cooler. Still feels a bit hobbyist to me. This is for you. If you're a practical home user, computer builder, you don't need this. It's just emptying your wallet for a part that won't make any noticeable difference on your.
And you know how to take off that retaining.
We're going to learn that together.
Oh.
All right. And it comes with some thermal compound and the wrench required, the little Allen wrench, to take off the current socket cover. And some screws. And I mean, how can you go wrong with all these directions?
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. All right, camera girl. Are you ready?
Ready.
Come on over here. Let's see, that's the close-up camera. Pick the wrong camera. There we are. Mitch doesn't have a top of a head.
Nope.
This is what happens when you have a short camera person. Oh, my hair's all messed up.
Look fine.
Well, thank you. You look fine too.
You like my Bosley? All right, no.
That's a great shirt. Man.
That's a dated reference.
Thank you.
Bosley hair for men.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move some of this out of the way because we don't need it yet.
Okay.
So we'll get this big power supply. I'll stick it over here with the case.
Here's a beautiful.
Pretty sure that doesn't have a cooler. I'm very unfamiliar with the AMD lineup because I've been
Mhm.
focused on Intel throughout 2023.
Okay, 7000 series, right? And then here he showed you the beautiful, I can't, these little fans crack me up, but I mean, this is a first, never seen something.
Hey, when you got an extra $100 to
Like
waste
that.
for some nonsense, there you go. Although I suppose that 8,000 megahertz could come
Yeah.
in handy for an overclocker. Been super happy with the Crucial T700. That is the fastest Gen 5 drive we've tested.
I want it.
Most Gen 5 drives run at 10,000 megabytes per
4
second.
terabytes. Sweet.
Yeah, well, that won't do you any good, Mitch, because you don't have any Gen 5 motherboards.
Sweet. No.
So it's only going to run it. It'll run,
Right.
but it'll run
yeah.
at the speed
Well,
the motherboard.
forget that. All right.
Yeah, throw that in the garbage.
Yeah.
Well, let me open up the CPU and see if we got a
Oh.
cooler. I don't think we. Pretty sure we don't have a cooler. It's too light. But I was wrong about the GPU, so maybe I'm wrong too.
1 for 1. Okay.
Don't you open that
All
up?
right. Beautiful magnet. Here we go. Ah, you got to have the go faster sticker. There's got to be, let's see, here we go.
A great big box just for that little tiny chip. I really like the heat
Paperwork.
spreader on the AMDs. I think that's really cool looking. Of course, we won't see it again when the cooler's on it.
Okay.
What's underneath that?
We
Is it
shall-
just all waste of space?
Oh, yeah, I can't believe it.
Go my way. No, we don't want solar.
Steady now. Yeah, okay.
Pretty sure if it's in there that tightly that
Yeah,
want it to come out.
there's nothing in there. Al Capone's balls. Yeah.
there's nothing in there either.
There's nothing in there either. Remember that show? All right.
That was TV history, not in a good way.
Couple of old bottles. Yeah. Although it sounds when you set it down like that, but
I think it's glued.
yeah, there's got to be nothing. You just have to know, don't
Put you in.
Could be a diamond ring under there. It could be a winning lottery
Yeah,
ticket.
yeah.
What if I
Uh-oh,
get something
yeah.
to wedge it out of there?
Just shake the box. And,
No, I think it's glued.
oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, no, you're right.
Of course. Yeah.
Look at that.
A big,
So
a
we have a
big
giant empty box
and all that him going
for this.
terrible, just terrible.
Did you turn into Charles Barkley?
Barkley.
That's terrible. This is the first time I've seen
Yeah.
that heatsink design. Really like that. When these get to be old hat, like some old model, I'm going to have one of these in the background somewhere.
Okay.
So I just really like that design. I think this goes the other way.
Yeah.
All right. Here, present.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
You know, magnets don't come cheap, you know.
Yeah, they do. That was $27
Yeah.
the price.
Okay.
All right, and then we got our documentation and red, not Team Red, but Red Team.
Okay. Can I open this, huh? Can I? Ooh.
Would you please?
Ah.
It sounds like you're on Wheel of Fortune. With some furniture from Broyhill.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Broyhill furniture for sale? Because I
I
have.
haven't, no.
I only see it on game shows.
Hey, you sure you haven't opened? Oh, no, it's hermetic,
Well,
it's
they-
hermetically sealed?
No,
No.
they double box. So
Oh.
you have this outer thin. Really annoys me. You think they could have just printed this design on
I
the
didn't have my Wheaties
turn it upside down?
this morning. Oh, there you go. Grape nuts? Okay. All right. Ah. This
Boy,
is-
it's been a while since the
Oh,
Olympics.
it's just boring cardboard.
Yeah, they could have, just done it the way every other motherboard manufacturer does it.
Could have made it red.
Other reveal, folks.
Oh, there's nothing in there but bricks.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
It's going to be a real short show.
It's
We do these shows live unscripted, and we're unboxing these parts for the very first time.
like Pulp Fiction in the briefcase. It's in the briefcase.
Purple.
Oh.
All right, we're going to open the board up here in a minute. Let's see what else is in the box.
Oh, underneath it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to leave all that cardboard out of the box.
Okay.
We're going to put all our spare parts, documentation, and everything in this motherboard box. But here we've got the board documentation. We've got a Go Faster sticker. We've got some Velcro zip ties. We have the screws for M.2, a couple of SATA cables. And I don't know why they put this on here.
You just had to. You couldn't help yourself. All right.
No, I can't. I'm a silently violent
All right.
person. Okay.
They used to tape those all the time, and now they're saving
No,
on
it
time.
depends on who the manufacturer is. They do now is they put all these zip ties
ties.
across. What do you think of that?
Cool. Wow.
I'll just show you the back here. Ooh. Very busy. All right.
Lot
And
going on.
USB port?
Yeah, yeah,
Woo!
Might need a few more.
yeah.
Well, let's get these.
Zip ties off. We'll chop.
If I didn't zip tie this motherboard to the foam, it would have gone boom right through that cardboard box.
Yeah.
Beautiful plumage. No, Norwegian red. When I brought this motherboard home not half an hour ago, the only reason I found it was sitting in its box is because it'd been zip tied there. Well, I had to zip tie the board or it would have gone boom. Mate, this board wouldn't boom if you put 1,000 volts through it.
What?
Oh, he's
what,
just resting.
what blooming idiot?
He's pining for the fjords.
Better stop. I'm gonna drop the camera laughing.
He was just waking up when you stunned him.
That.
Here you go. Call me the squirrel.
Okay. You said it was red. Either I'm colorblind, my shirt is red.
Well,
This is burnt orange.
yeah,
to my eye.
these are red, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We've had this discussion with like the Dodge Challenger.
Right.
Is the famous color of the Dodge Challenger orange or is it red? To me, it looks, I can't remember now if it looks red or orange, but I always see it, I'm always corrected. If I say it's red, someone says it's orange. If I say it's orange, someone says it's red. This is clearly orange, seeing it in person. I've never seen this in person. I was going off the pictures. That's my excuse. So we have orange and we have like another orange.
Yep.
So compared to this orange, this is red.
That's
what I'm going with.
Okay.
And you got graffiti on the back.
Hey. Live mix.
All right. So we'll take the, you want to do the peel? You
Oh,
had one job.
That's why it's live, folks. All right.
There we go. All right. So you see the CPU socket frame here.
Gotcha.
That will come out.
You've never taken one off, have you?
Never.
Don't mess it up.
Hey,
Yeah. It's always a first.
it's my money, my risk.
What is it? A Torx Star or something like that? What do you call that?
I'd call it a
Doodad?
Torx.
Torx?
Yeah. Want to start there?
I guess.
Okay. So here's the contact frame.
Okay.
$10. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a major investment. It is kind of stupid though.
You should have ordered burnt orange, not
Well,
You'll never see it anyways with the
I think,
all-in-one. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it kind of matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
But
totally
again,
does.
again, once
The CPU.
Once the cooler's
cooler's
on it, who
you're-
cares?
Yeah,
You're
you're never going to see it
Yeah.
anyway. But the fact that you'll know it and I'll know it, Chad will know it.
so they include for the $10 you get a tube of thermal paste, which I don't know if it's assume so. And then you also get the Allen wrench.
You ought to be able to get 3 CPUs off of that.
Well, I don't know how full it is.
Oh, okay.
Right? It could be deceptive.
Yeah.
There may only be
Be
that
that much.
much in there. But I don't know. Maybe. Now there is a company that makes the company that created this idea. Thermal Grizzly, I think. They want $40 for their contact frame. It is machined nicer than these are.
Okay.
But I
That's
mean,
pretty nice for 10 biscuits, bananas,
yeah.
bongos.
Well, how much do you think the
Yeah.
metal costs just to do that?
Yeah.
So the first thing, okay, Mitch, first thing we want to do
Just don't panic.
is we're going to open up, bring peanuts in a blanket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're going to open the CPU socket up,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to put the CPU in it, because when this frame goes over it, it's going to hold the CPU down. We
Yeah.
will not be able to put the CPU in
Gotcha.
if we put this
Right.
on first. Okay?
Glad you thought of that. Mhm.
One of us had to.
Yeah.
This has to open. It's like it opens this way. How do I open?
That's what you think.
This
Yeah,
way.
go with-
Okay.
Ooh.
That's
How many pins is that? No, but those are pins.
Yeah, those are
oh,
pins. I don't know how many pins. I'm sure someone in the chat room can
Yeah.
tell us what the pin count is. Greg M says DeBauer created the original one out of aluminum and has better installation instructions. DeBauer is a German content creator. He's very, very good. I think he has some affiliation, if it's not even his company, with Thermal Grizzly in. And Jim KJ3N says there are 1,718 pins.
Ooh.
They had to do Intel 1,700. So he said, we'll do 1,718.
Yeah, just to be odd.
So,
Do it, muscles.
oh, these are loose. These are all loose. Look at this. You go to loosen this,
Oh,
it's barely,
yeah. Oh boy,
look how loose that is.
that all happened in transport.
So as soon as, no, when I was watching a video, they showed it was loose. But you want to be careful. In fact, we should put the CPU in right now. So if
Okay.
anything slips,
Yeah.
we're not going to hit those pins. So here we've got our Ryzen. Should do this in the right order just to be safe. Why is AMD making this hard to get out of the package?
Steady now. It's a little pricey CPU.
Okay, so is there a little arrow? Okay, the
Yeah.
arrow is right up here.
Yep.
And then the arrow is right there.
Yep. Nice.
So the two arrows go together. Also, notice there's a notch right here.
Yep.
And one right there, but none on these sides, and that prevents you from.
No using your suction cup. I'll take a chance.
No, this chip's a bit heavier. Be afraid of using the suction
Actually,
cup
yeah.
on it, but at least that'll protect the pins.
And that was seated. That's seated now.
Yeah, see, it won't.
Yep. Gotcha.
And when we set that on there
Down.
gently, we don't want to push
Right.
down on it because it's resting just over the pins. Now, of course, when we tighten the contact frame back down, we do want to be conscientious of tightening down as evenly as we can on, so we don't have any warpage. We don't want to tighten down one side more than another. Do it evenly. Well, that was pretty easy.
Wow.
But does it go this way
Is there a little arrow on there?
or this? Oh, yes. You're right.
So,
yeah.
so show the camera the
Yeah.
arrow.
So obviously that's going to go, yeah. Correct, sir?
Yes.
Can I?
Yes, please. You did it.
Sweet.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty easy install.
I like it.
It's too bad it's gonna
Now-
be all covered.
Covered up,
Now
but
these,
I like it.
these screws here, these are all they're sort of captured. So they're going to stay with this original frame, and we will put this in the box just to have as a spare. Oh, this won't even close anymore. What the heck? Is it so? Wow. I thought these were hard to close when they were on the board. That's even more difficult. All right, let's grab my skizzers. Which are in my drawer here. Mitch is always wondering how
Can you
to
take a
find it.
picture of that, please?
Take a picture of
That right there.
this.
Board
Oh,
with
yeah.
the contact down there. Before we cover it up.
Let me pull out my brand new, steady, my iPhone 15 Pro.
Is that a 15?
15 Pro, yes it is.
Thank you, sir.
No plug to Apple. All right.
We don't do Apple
Yeah.
in this house.
Never bring up that word. Can I eat an apple? That you can. Very healthy for you. All right.
Hey, the amount of money we spent on this, it might
Yeah.
as well be an Apple.
Yeah, right.
Did you want the picture further up, or did you want a close up? Take one more from higher, and then she can crop it if she wants to.
Which is that's you. Right.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah, that way she can crop around it.
Thank you, sir.
Artists, you're all the same.
Perfect.
You hear the clanging of metal on metal there. So we're
Ooh.
keeping the back plate in, obviously.
Okay.
And what I do with my Allen wrench, did you take it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, put it in there. I thought those were regular Phillips.
Oh, I had something I had to tell you.
$10, huh?
$10 for Intel or AMD. Well, basically the same
Yeah.
price. Or you can spend $40 if you want to get the
Well, machined,
original.
yeah, machined, but
Yeah, it's a little finer, but
looks nice.
Great.
I feel like we're going back in time doing this. It's a very old school method. Now, there was a tip about winding these backwards until they click. Did you hear that? And then wind it forward a couple turns. Wind it backwards, it'll click. And then wind it forward. That way you ensure you're not putting it in crooked. Now, I've seen people like go quarter turns. In my opinion, you don't need to worry about it until you're getting to where it starts tightening.
Yep.
That's where the warpage can occur. So as soon as I start feeling resistance, the least bit of resistance, that's when I want to start making sure that everything's straight. Like that one is a little tighter than the rest. And you can always back them off. And I just want to feel right where. Now, I went around in a circle. You shouldn't be doing that. We should be going opposite corners.
Yep.
Okay, but it's still loose.
Yeah.
Now, if I back these off, once again, you can undo it. Go here. And then I'm just going to spin that as far as my two fingers will spin it, and it stops. Now, to me, that was about the strength that it was put on by the factory.
Okay.
So I don't know how much further we'd want to put this down.
Well, I wouldn't wrench it, but
A little bit more there. Take it till it stops.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to push it any
Nope.
further.
there you
Okay,
go.
that feels good to me. Now, what's interesting is you do see, if you can get the camera down low, there is a ridge. They don't sit completely flush. I wonder if the more expensive one
One
sits
sits
flush.
flush, yeah.
Maybe if I put my hand here.
Oh yeah, you can see it. The ridge, yeah.
Yeah, raise it up a little bit. There, just focused. So we do have a bit of a, about a millimeter.
But a lip,
pokes
yeah.
up. Bill Sony T says, good job, camera girl.
Thank you.
Andy Kane says, hello.
Hi, Andy.
Elko says, I recently bought the same contact frame for my 7950X, going full custom water cooling come January. All right, we got a plumber in the chat room. All right, well, Mara's going to be wanting this awesome build when it's done. She will love it, says Scott. Every build I do, every single time. Jason Willis says, generally was orange. Yes, that I agree with. The generally definitely was orange, but I'm talking about the stock Challenger color, the famous color. Roy Starman with $10 in super chat says, I missed several of your last shows. This is my welcome back fee. Thank you for that, Roy Starman. Whoops, and I just lost my chat. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Odd.
Andy Kane is calling you Auntie Mora.
I know, he always does.
Auntie?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we want to put in next here? I guess the we need to use this. You see this giant heatsink here? That's specifically to handle Gen 5.
Okay.
Let's take the old frame. Do me a favor, just lift this up like that. Stick this in a box along with the documentation. It gets it off our counter. Set that back down. All right, so
yeah, we got to remove that.
So when I order the NVMe drive, I order it without the heatsink because I'd just be paying more than having to take the heatsink off.
Okay.
You definitely want to use the heatsink that comes with the motherboard. It's way more robust. This doesn't look like it's in focus. If you touch the screen, does it put a circle around it?
Mm-mm.
No? Is it set to autofocus?
It was before you told me.
Whoops. Hold on, let me go full screen over here because I'm... Oh, I guess it's focused. Okay, so here we go. So this giant heatsink, we have two more NVMe's and sockets underneath this.
And will there or won't there be thermal tape?
This
under there?
should have thermal tape near both of these.
Yep.
But if you're wondering, should I use the motherboard's heatsink or the one that comes with the SSD? You want to use the motherboards. The motherboard heatsinks are going to be way better. They're going to perform better, and they're going to look way better, especially on a board like this. See how thick that is? So if you're going to use a Gen 5 NVMe, they're very, very hot. So this is critical. And the other thing, I set that aside. Over here, we'll take this heatsink off while we're at it. You lift that off. And what we can do right now, see, we've got thermal tape there. We've got two more M.2s here. We've got an M.2 Wi-Fi socket here, and I want to put the little screws in these little standoffs so that we don't have to go looking for them later if and when we want to add drives or anything to these. So back in the box. Yeah. Back in the box, we've got little screws, and we'll pull out 1, 2. I think we need 3 of them. Frustrates me that they use a plastic bag for one tiny, minuscule little screw. But I just want to seat these so that we don't have to go looking for them 2 years from now when we can't remember where we put them. And I don't want to tighten them all the way down, but I also don't want them so loose they fall out. So just right when it's snug. one here. And then these two standoffs are what secure the heatsink down. And we should have one more. And I believe the heatsink's going to hold the M.2 down because I don't see another standoff point here. So I think when we put our M.2 in, the screw that holds the heatsink down holds the M.2. I don't like that design. I'd much prefer, because what ends up happening when you pull a heatsink off is it can lift with the thermal tape sticking to the NVMe. And if you're not careful, you can damage the socket. So I'd much prefer if the M.2 was screwed down. That way, when you remove the heatsink, the tape will give. Not that we'll be doing that anytime soon. So we're going to leave that free. We're going to go over here to the M2 Wi-Fi and put that last screw right there. I like to keep these little baggies because whenever I get some cases, they don't give us resealable bags. These come in handy. I thought they only use these for drugs. What did I know? All right, we'll save those. All right. This, want to do the honors?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the other side where the tape isn't as...
Oh, yeah.
When you're opening up one of these boxes for CPU or storage, you'll notice one side will often have a big, like, barcode piece of tape on it. And the other side will just have a little tiny piece of tape. Two reasons you don't want to cut this. One, this may be what you need for warranty purposes. It's got your serial number and product number on it. And when you cut through it, it could tear and then you can't read it anymore. Two, it's a long piece to cut versus just a simple little right there, much easier. And while Mitch figures out how to get that out of the box, we'll put this big heatsink back.
Must have. 4 beautiful terabytes on that little stick of gum.
They're crunchy too.
That's hilarious. That actually fits very well. Remember those old sticks of gum that came in those bubble gum packages?
Uh-huh. No, that's interesting that they've got, it's like a little heatsink on here.
Yeah.
Come on, focus. There it goes. This only goes in one direction. Right there. Put it in on a bit of an angle. Now there's a little cushiony pad right there. And because this has chips on both sides, it's going to hit that, but that's okay. It squishes down. Then we can take the heatsink, remove the thermal tape, or the protection on the thermal tape. This goes in. See how difficult this is going to be. I really wish I could secure it before putting the heatsink. Well, there goes $500.
To be fast.
Is this screw just going to turn forever or what? There it goes. Okay. Likely we need to take these off of here. I suspect that our cooler is going to have its own, I don't know, I'm guessing, but
Right.
usually.
Its own brackets. Yeah.
And then what I'll do, these are things to save because they're universal for all the AM5 sockets. Yeah, perfect. We already have a plastic bag we can use. But keep the back plate in because that will,
Yep.
that we're going to keep that. Yoink. Perfect. And then we'll put that in the motherboard box. Okay, CPU's in. RAM is in. In order for us to test fire this, we're going to need to put a cooler on it.
RAM's not in.
Storage, I meant.
Oh,
Storage and CPU. We still have to do the RAM.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if the RAM will get in the way of us putting the cooler on.
The cooler on.
But then I'm wondering how we're going to do this cooler if we don't have a case for it.
It's a lot of wondering.
Yeah. What should I do? Should I get the case out? Because once I attach the water block and the fans, I can run it without the case. But imagine trying to then hold those both pieces as you try and get the motherboard mounted.
Yeah, you should probably mount the
Let me
case
see
on the
what I
board, you
can do
think?
for getting. We'll give camera girl a break here. Let's go back over to camera 1. There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll give camera girl a break while I unbox
a massive
the
case.
case while Mitch regales us with tales
Yes.
of
The
times
The,
past.
the corny joke of the day.
Do you have one ready for us?
Always.
I already used mine.
Okay, let me think here.
Well, that's.
yeah.
I thought I smelled something.
Yeah,
burning.
right. Why did the baseball catcher spend the night on the field?
Why did the baseball catcher spend the night on the field?
Because he wanted to be close to home.
Wah,
Wah, wah. Sorry, but they have to be corny.
The teacher asked me to name a country with no R in it. I said, easy. No way. No way.
Give the man the hook. All right.
This is a
Yeah.
big case. I wonder if the Lazy Susan will be big enough.
I don't think so.
What have I gotten myself into?
Into.
What have I done?
Well, chat, while he's figuring that out, has anybody got big plans for New Year's Eve? And remember, folks, don't drink and drive. There's a public service announcement
You know, with
from your
Uber and
Uncle Mitch.
Lyft and everything else, there's no excuse for it.
No,
anymore.
no, Uber and Lyft, yeah. And then a lot of people, not necessarily me, but people I know, they do a dry January where they go the whole month of January without drinking. They like to do that in January and July.
I feel
And when I read about that, I'm like, I can't go 30 days without my blue moon.
you do like it. Yeah, but you only have a couple bottles, like one or two.
Well, that's because I force myself to drive to the bar, so I never have that third beer because, yeah.
I just figured you're a lightwait.
Are you kidding?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We
When I was in high school,
Wait a minute.
those
you weren't old
big
enough to
football
drink.
players used to. I was a tiny little guy, and these big football players would say, "I'll bet I can outdrink you," and I'm like, "I'll take that bet." And
What high school did you go to where they're drinking?
six beers in, they couldn't handle that seventh, and I'm like, I just wetted my whistle. Now when do we start drinking?
If I joined you, I would have wetted my pants.
Yeah. You need
This is very
you need your
red.
hernia belt to lift that. I'll do the
Well,
sound effect.
it's empty right now,
Yeah.
so it doesn't weigh very much. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, now that's red, folks. Yeah.
We're so glad we have our
Yeah.
Pantone.
Yeah. Red.
expert. It's very red over here.
Yes.
I think I'm going to try to see if it'll fit on the Lazy Susan. So let me move this out of the way temporarily here.
Yeah, it might. That's a big lazy Susan.
It looks like it'll fit. You should see that case in person. It's spectacular.
I don't know what a chat I'm doing New Year's Eve. That's normally a couple's night. And since I'm stag, I don't know. I don't know
Have to
what
go
I'm-
back into the bowels of
the local
Studio
bar is
B.
having dueling pianos that night. Not real pianos, but dueling kind of organs. That sounds kind of fun, but let me lift this. You ready?
Yep.
Wait.
Lift with your back.
Yep.
I mean, don't lift with your
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it'll fit. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk on top of you. I was in the back room and I was still talking.
Oh,
You were in here talking.
yeah.
We should have done a left ear, right ear split.
Wow. You know,
$150.
that's gonna look great.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that
That fits perfect.
I see it, not the wideness doesn't bother me now that
It's
I see
not-
it.
That
Yeah.
much wider.
No,
It's
than a
little-
regular.
well,
No.
That's awesome.
But would you still call that a mid tower compared to a full? Fulls are like, huge, but what do you think? Mid? It'll fit a full ATX.
It's just that it's wide.
wide, yeah.
I wonder why it's got these little rubber pieces in the corner.
Well, to lay flat.
oh,
if you want to lay flat.
Oh.
Huh? Brains. Okay.
And then you got our USB ports and buttons down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
Here comes Mara with the camera. She's like a tourist.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the good stuff.
Try to look sincere. All right.
How do I do that?
Yeah, okay.
Craig Casabona with a $20 super chat. He says, nice to see you and Mitch live again, building a computer together.
Yeah, that's value for money.
Patrick says it's thick. That'd be a good price.
Yeah.
Can you turn that?
Would I turn it? How far do you want me to go?
Right there. Thank you.
We'll match any decor.
What's this button do? Oh, releases the glass.
The tempered glass.
Interesting. There's a button right here. Barely releases it. And
Well,
then-
no, yeah, but see, it's on hinges.
Oh.
So it goes out.
All right, let's try that.
It's an Audi.
Is
Oh,
it-
there's got tape
down here.
got tape on it. So never mind.
Let me step around so
Okay.
because otherwise the camera won't see. So this is the second Gamdias case that we
Yeah.
built.
Hinges here
Oh, there is a pull tab here.
and here. So it must go like that. What?
Is there another button down here? That's power button. I guess they don't want that opening during storage, shipping.
Shipping. You want the knife?
No. I don't want to potentially scratch the case or the glass. Oh, but apparently I'm going to have to do a peel.
Okay. It was very appealing. You get it?
Ba-dum-bum. Here, you want to peel this one?
Yeah.
Everybody loves the
The
peel.
peel.
Let me find a spot here. It'll be easier to do this now. There we go. It's all you.
Ah.
Now that's a proper Christmas unwrapping right there. Oh, I can use this to seal a bowl of salad that I won't eat.
It ain't Tupperware. All right.
Now, will it open?
Yeah, with the hinges. Yeah. Try it with the button.
So see this, Mara? We have a little button up here, and I push it,
And the door opens up.
Nice.
and it's on hinges. So we should be able to just, or not.
Or not.
Uh,
WD-40. Yeah.
set this with the other 75 panels we have over here.
Okay.
Remember, that one goes to this case. Now we've got our box of parts and our documentation here. Let's open that up and see what's in there.
Somebody in chat, I'm getting that for my Spider-Man build. I like it.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
I could see that as a Spider-Man.
All right. Here's all the goodies we have. Feet.
Show them.
Oh, okay. You've got feet if you want to lay it on its side. Feet. More feet. Black feet. Red feet.
Oh, red feet and black feet?
And black feet.
Nice touch.
Zip ties and screws. Yeah. What's that? Oh, that's a PCI.
That's
No.
going to be a video graphics. That's a graphics card support.
Oh, yeah.
So it keeps it from warping.
Yeah. Sagging.
Paul Connolly with $14.99
No
Australian
no
says Happy
sagging.
New Year. Thank you, Paul. Happy New Year to you.
Paul, where can I go to be in the shark cage? What part of Australia? And spend my $700 and keep my fingers crossed that the sharks will come up to the cage.
Is that 700 Australian or 700?
I got a feeling the review I read, it was 700 US
Because if it's 700 Australian,
to go in the shark cage.
it'd be like 400.
So
US.
I don't know, is that the east side of Australia? Or
Yeah, Australia's a big place, so you probably want to figure that part out.
Or west side. West side? The ice cream man.
Yeah, I'm here in the ice
cream
cream man. So you'll see we've got our slot for our power supply, which is behind the motherboard tray. I'm getting flashbacks to the Big Beast build because that's how that one,
Yeah.
that's the only other time I've seen that. And it does look like we've got plenty of room there for
Yep.
the cooler. So with that being done,
We want to mount the board, huh? In there to.
should we put the board in first?
I'd do the power supply. What are you thinking?
No, I don't want to take the back off just yet.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, maybe I should. No, it's meant to lay down on this. I was thinking if we laid it down, it might scratch it up, but it's
But it's meant.
yeah,
But
it's meant
they're
to.
their feet in the box. But I
But
think
you know
I
what?
think
This
it's
has come off anyway.
Yeah.
Just being lazy. So we'll take this thumb screw out right here. Pull this. There we go. Pull that away.
Paul says, don't go anywhere near Tim, but South Australia is a good place for great white sharks. Okay, I shall research that.
Whoever Tim is.
Yeah, that's a town, I'm going to assume.
Tim?
Yeah.
Is it next to Todd?
Yeah. Or Tiny.
Tiny Tim. Wow, look at all the space we have for
Yeah.
table management in here.
Woo.
Hallelujah. That's
That's
sight for
nice.
sore eyes. All right, let's see what happens if we bring this down. Ooh. And we already have pre-installed standoffs, but are they all in the right place? Let me just check and see. No, we're going to be missing a standoff. ASRock likes to use this extra one over here.
Over there.
So it should be in the box. Let me see. In the box with our screws. Oh, they just slammed them all together in one bag. Lovely. See, that's why I kept those other
little ones.
Ziploc bags, because of exactly this. So I wouldn't even, see, they just jammed everything in one bag. That's your fan screws, your motherboard mounting screws, power supply screws, all of it. And I would separate them into separate bags because, OCD. You're getting kind of trapped in there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right sides? Yikes. Do me a favor, grab me one of those little Ziploc bags.
You think you can jam all those in here?
I'm not gonna,
Oh.
I'm gonna separate them.
Oh, gotcha.
So like, I know I don't
Yeah.
need these really long ones.
Yeah.
Those are for some fans we're not gonna use. I just wanna not overwhelm myself with the number of options here. So these are these really long screws with a shoulder. They're typically used for mounting fans. Do we have any fans on this case? Doesn't look like it comes with any.
No.
Well, that's disappointing. We got no fans. I would only add a rear fan anyway, but nonetheless. So we're done with that bag. We're going to keep those items separate. We have a little socket for the standoff, but I have my own standoff 5mm socket.
Want another little
And they
bag?
give us 2 spare standoff, 3 spare standoffs.
Okay.
So we'll put 2 in there along with the socket, and that's all I want in that bag. And then this standoff is going to go right by our PCI slots here. So we're going to have 4 along that side. I need to be your height so I can see this.
Get you a box. There you go.
I need the, don't they do that surgery in China where they add to the leg bone?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like they cut it, and they put like a
Shock absorber?
brace, and then they wait for the bone to grow back,
Ooh.
and then you come back, they cut it
Yeah.
again, and they brace it, and then they wait for that, and they can just keep doing that, I guess, until eventually you're mostly all legs, because obviously your torso's not.
Paul Garrett, how's the bike going, Mitch? Bike's doing well. I'm at 3,000 miles, so it's time for an oil change. So I've got the
How many miles are on the bike?
24,
24,000.
and it's a 2014 Suzuki MR109
You driving 1,000 miles a year?
that's been customized.
2,000 miles a year?
Well, that trip I took last June, that was 2,000 miles.
Well, if it wasn't for that trip, you'd
And-
have barely any miles on it.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. But I want to get a change because then the little that I do in January, February, March, and April, and then I'm going to take another trip in June, chat, and attempt to finish the ride that I attempted last year, and then the weather turned lousy where I'll go. Oh, Phoenix to Vegas, Vegas to San Francisco, San Francisco to Portland, Portland to Seattle, Seattle to Vancouver, and then I'll come home down the Pacific Coast Highway. So I'm thinking a month, something like that.
Nice.
Get out of this terrible Arizona heat.
These motherboard standoffs are going to use those fine thread screws with the rounded heads on top. Some cases will use the hex head screws with the coarser thread. So I always have to check that before I put the motherboard in. Otherwise, I start cursing myself out when I can't get the screw started or it goes in sideways, depending on if it's too big or too small. And then we want to count the number of holes we have on the board, right? So for mounting holes, I've got 1, 2, 3 at this far end, 1, 2, 3 across the middle, and 1, 2, 3, 4 across the side, the bottom side here. So if I look in here, I want to count 1, 2, 3 standoffs on this far side, 1, 2, 3 across the middle, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the 4th one I added just now. Set that down. How much room we have to work with. There we go. That locks it in. Let's move this. Just perfect.
Okay.
I think for this, I want to grab my electric driver because we're going to put in, what, 10 screws? You think that motherboard's going to be secure or what?
Oh, yeah.
Now be careful. There's 2 screws in here that look identical, but one has fine threads, one has coarse threads. So do pay attention. Really gets under my skin when I get a machine in for repair and they're using 2 different kinds of screws to hold the motherboard in. Why would you do that? It only takes a second. Just pay attention to what you're doing. You'll notice I don't want to tighten these down because we may need to shift the board a little bit sideways. Could be that we've seated it, but that it may be that the corner of the board here is up against the case and the corner up here is not, and that's where we kind of wiggle the board as needed to get the screws to line up with the mounting holes.
Because you might have to shift it on the vertical, so. It's a technical word.
So far, though, it's been pretty painless. So I will say getting into this side here, kind of have a lip that's in the way. This case has given me lip.
Go back talk.
Exactly. Okay, one last screw here. Oh no, there's one more in the middle, I forgot. It's pretty well hidden from my perspective here. We'll hear the driver's clutch kick in when it hits my predefined torque setting, which is pretty low. I have it on 3. Now, it's not critical that these screws are all torqued to the same spec. It's just something I do to keep everything consistent. Sure that I don't forget any.
Throw those back in the bag. You want a little bag.
Here's what this is looking like. It's getting a little bit heavier.
Heavy.
So what I would do, I wouldn't put those in that bag. Let's get another one of these little Ziplocs here. We have two different, no, there's actually 3 different screw types. And I think I want to separate them. So to do that, easiest way is I grab my magnetic driver, and I can just grab a whole handful here and just quickly kick out horse thread screws here. I sort of had a wax on, wax off moment with somebody I was training where I dumped a massive bundle of screws onto the counter. And I said, okay, your job is to separate all these. And I had little plastic trays. I was like, with the fine threads with the fine thread, the coarse threads with the coarse threads, and the fan screws with the fan screws. And you should have seen the look he gave me, like, really? But they're still organized to this day.
The power you must have felt.
It just needed to be done.
Bossing somebody around.
Well, now I can do that for you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Now I get bossed around. Mara comes in here and says, doing this wrong.
So chop.
So what's going on in the chat room there, Midge?
Let's see.
This is riveting video. Just want to put these away before I knock them on the floor.
David Graham with a $5 contribution. Did you hear about the snowman that got upset when the sun came out? He had a total meltdown.
You know the difference between snowmen and snow women?
No.
Snowballs.
Oh, okay. Hey, anybody in chat, anybody going to go see the Ferrari movie? Directed by Michael Mann, very good director.
What about Aquaman?
Oh yeah, in the Lost Kingdom or something like that.
Hey, did you ever watch The Creator?
The first half hour.
Well, you haven't gone any further.
Yeah.
I also watched Rebel Moon. I told you it was terrible. I was wrong. It actually, once you get about 40 minutes into it,
Right.
although it's not original as far as the story goes, it's
Visually though, I mean.
oh my gosh, they're so
Yeah, the trailer looked awesome. I'll give you that.
yeah. They got like this lady spider lady, and they have this contraption that like puts people into like locks them upright where they can't move. bringing in a hostage,
Mm.
bringing in a bounty. Got some. And I was very disappointed because the special effects looked terrible. But after 40 minutes, all of a sudden, the special effects budget got better. Anybody here in the chat see Rebel Moon, the new Zack Snyder film on Netflix? What'd you think?
And I watched a trailer this morning before I came over. An actor, Aaron Eckhart, is doing a movie called The Bricklayer.
That looks good.
That looks very good. So,
and
of course the Jason Statham movie that comes out here mid-January, The Beekeeper. It looks like
that looks pretty interesting.
Solid action. Yeah.
Now I wonder how I'm going to be able to get behind that seat. Looks like this piece will have to come out. This is your 2.5-inch, 3.5-inch drive trays here that are right behind the cutout for getting behind the CPU for mounting the. Well, maybe we won't need to. Maybe we use the existing backplate now.
We'll know when you open it.
Yeah, so let's put this aside for now. In fact, I'll put this. Just put that. Is it? Shouldn't need any more screws from that. Okay. Now it's time for me to break out this giant liquid cooler. You ever seen a $400 liquid cooler?
I have not.
Now, granted, you can easily go over $1,000 if you want to do a custom cooler, but
Let me curl that. Okay.
that's all in one.
Now that's dark red. You're,
That's chartreuse, you dummy.
Again with the red. Let it go. All right. Deep cleansing breath. Okay. What's how's the company?
I think it's Evangelion.
Evangelion. Okay.
Could be mispronouncing it, but I think that sounds right to me.
And you already opened it.
Evangelion? Evangelion.
And you already opened it.
Jelly?
No.
There's a surprise when you open it.
Oh.
That is,
Okay.
when you open it, you still have to open it.
Oh, gotcha.
So this outer box here, just like on the motherboard, how we had that outer box, I was kind of interested to see what this looked like, right? So I went to open this, and then lo and behold, I found there was another box that had to be opened.
Okay.
So I didn't take it any further. Then I just closed it back up. So this is all just,
Show.
yeah. We definitely need a bigger workspace here. Let me get this up here, get it out of the way. Give me that. And just move this somewhere else. Evangelion.
Logo.
Evangelion.
There you can in the lights.
Evangelion. All right. How does this open now? Looks like. Looks like it opens. Yeah.
And another box.
Right.
They get smaller.
Like Russian nesting.
Nesting dogs. Nacho Libre. All right. So.
There's more boxes in here. What the heck? Oh, here we go. There's the good stuff.
Okay.
So that's there's 2 boxes. That's one of them.
You're blocking me. All right. Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
You're a giant.
Yeah. Oh, we got a box of goodies. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. This is just going to be our. What's holding this in? Like it's being held in somehow. That is a giant water block. Holy cow, look at the size of that. I'm still trying to figure out. Oh, we have some more goodies in the middle here. Hurts. Nothing under there. Get stickers. It makes it go faster.
So I'll bet the bracket's in here.
Oh, nothing was holding it in. I
Oh,
was just
okay.
taking it out on an angle, and they didn't like that. So hopefully without me crushing this. Hey, that's pretty neat. Like, there's a little plastic cover covering the fins.
Hmm.
Let me bring this up to the camera and show everybody a nice close-up here. I guess that's where my other $100 went, was for the packaging.
Mm.
This thing is massive. It's a 360 degree, or 360 millimeter rather, but it's got these plastic covers protecting the fins. Of course, you've got to remove that or air won't flow through them. Remove the hex protection caps before startup. And then there's little arrows pointing down. Interesting. And then there's a screen on the end here. Now, would you say that's red, or
That's red.
is that matching? And on the bottom, we have pre-applied thermal paste, so we won't need to use the thermal paste that came with the contact frame. Hey, Mara, look at the size of this water block.
Ow.
And here are the fans. These are 120s.
I wanted to how it performed.
Hey, when it looks this good, what do we got in? Oh, that's our fans. We're
Mhm.
probably going to need those. So what I'm thinking is we put this right along here. And let's try something here. Put that in there like so. It's like a glove. Now, some people will say you should have the hoses coming out of the bottom, but anytime you run the hoses from the bottom, you know, because these are coming straight out, they don't have much flex, you run into the potential of pinching the hoses, which would be worse than having some little air bubbles there. Is this front door open? That's probably going to make my life a lot easier. Yeah. Yeah, so for me to fit that in, I guess we have to turn that towards the camera. For me to force that in there is going to really put a lot of pressure on those hoses. So for that reason, we're going to go
Top.
this direction here. And then in order to see the RGB on the fans, we want the fans on the outside, obviously, right? So in this case, I got to put the bottom in first. And then this should reach. Ooh-wee.
Close.
We need a big case for that. Oh, it's not
No,
close. I mean,
close,
we
yeah.
have several
Yeah,
inches,
yeah.
but I could just imagine on a lot of other cases, this water block would be too tall.
Yeah.
Wow. That is definitely a wow moment. Okay, so straighten this out. Let's move it over. And I guess we can start by putting the fans on. So when we install this, it's going to go with the hoses up. So we want the fans to go on this side.
To push out.
Push, yeah. Going to bring air from the inside, push it through the radiator,
And out.
through to the back. And of course, that back panel's all vented.
Oh, that's glass. Isn't that tempered glass back there?
No, that's a big metal.
Oh,
Remember, it was
that's
all
a big
red,
red,
vented
yeah.
red panel.
Ah, and look at these chips. Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
red fans. Okay.
Doing this the hard way.
Yeah, while he's doing that. Red fans. Focus. Does that say top secret? Oh, top secret. Go.
Top secret. They're going to come out with fans now that have little LCD screens in the center. Oh, these are the fans that no cables. So
Oh, they connect. Yeah.
each fan connects to the other fan with this little connector, and then the last fan has the cables that controls the
You might
RGB.
want to go up and show them. Show them the little, yeah. Because I like that. No cables.
Yeah, this is the future of fans right here. So on this connector,
Yep.
that's going to contain our power and our RGB, and it needs one and it gives one to the next fan.
I'll give you another one. And then
Now,
do
how do
they
these
magnet?
connect?
Do they magnet?
Oh wow, they're magnetic,
Okay.
and
Now
it's a
it's slick.
strong magnet. Look at this.
Okay. Coming up, another one. It's clean look.
So none of these have cables. There must be a way to attach a cable to it. Now the spindles on these are all different. This one has the ASUS ROG logo. This one says top secret, and this one, oops. Watch this. Yikes. So those magnets aren't as strong as I gave them credit for.
You said
So I
that.
wonder what,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to put these in? Or if, we do have a little bit of plastic covering the centers here. You got to look at an angle to find it. There's the pull. And there's the pull tab.
Then we need then those are the long screws to mount them, right? Through onto the radiator.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to look in the box. Look how these fans connect.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Not magnetic. The Corsair fans we use, they locked in. Like you set it up and then slide it down and it would lock in. But once these are secured down, I guess it doesn't matter how strong the fans are. Do you think we should do you have a preference for which logo goes where? Let's take a look at the Amazon page and see how it's displayed. I didn't pay attention to that. Didn't realize it was a thing. So they're showing the,
two in the middle.
you know, which one's closest to the hoses? The exact opposite way that I did it. This doesn't matter. This is purely aesthetic, but I want to mimic what the manufacturer's done here. And apart from the magnet, there is also a like a little tab that fits into a slot, so you ensure that the fans are aligned exactly.
Okay.
So just to show people at home here with the picture, they're showing it with the hoses, that logo, then the number 2, and then the ROG logo at the bottom. So that's how I'm going to put it in. It doesn't matter, okay? It's just a preference for aesthetic. Since I don't have a good sense for aesthetic, just follow what they're doing. And I'll turn that up. Go back. Right. 381 people watching around the world. Hey guys, hope you're having a great Friday.
Wada.
See what they say in the chat room. Eugene Hidalgo says hello, and Starshine says it looks like a cool build. It should be cool with this cooler on it. Richard Palmentier says, wow, cool cooler. Patrick says he started to watch Rebel Moon, was not impressed. Neither was I. Once you get 40 minutes in, it's, in my opinion, it actually made me want to finish it. But yeah, the first 40 minutes I had to sit down twice and watch it in 2 20-minute pieces. And then once I was in an hour in, the next hour flew by. It was much more interesting. John Struthers says, hey, Carey, Mitch, Camera Girl in chat. Happy New Year. Well, thank you. Happy New Year to you, John.
Here's to a nice 2024.
Richard Palmentier says he's been a member for 4 months and 11 days. Well, that's pretty precise. Thank you, Richard. Dan Reed said, won't the front glass come off as well? Yes, it's on hinges and it'll lift off. Hopefully I got everybody's contribution. Let's see what's been going on with the phone. I've not been paying attention. I don't think I missed anything. Right on. Very good. So in this bag here, so the other box only had the fans in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that explains it. In this bag here,
Should be some screws
you could say that.
and a backing plate.
Now this backing plate should be for Intel only.
Oh,
Because I think with AMD you use the one that motherboard comes with. This says it's an AMD adapter bracket, so I suspect we're going to need that. AMD 4 Intel 1700 thumb screw caps. So is AMD 5 different? They don't. These are Intel standoff screws. And these are for sockets 11.5X, 1200, and 1700. So I'm so used to putting the AMD hardware away. Oh, these are magnetized together. You see how they're meeting in the middle?
oh
there?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Did we get any documentation? Maybe this right here. ROG RYUJIN 3 ARGB series. Quick start guide.
If you can read this, you're too close.
Intel
All right.
backplate. Intel install.
My water's making noise. My water.
Yeah, the heat of the room. Remove the pre-installed heatsink mount. Those were the plastic pieces we took off. Install the AMD mounting bracket. So even though this doesn't specify socket AM5, it did say that it was compatible with socket AM5. And it does show this came out in March of 2023. And certainly AM5 was out then. It just disturbs me to just see socket AMD4. That's what they're calling it.
Okay.
But nothing with regards to AMD5. So I have to assume that these brackets right here are compatible. This is AMD. Let's see if they line up.
Take a chance.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess these go on this. Yeah, seems to fit. Oh, it's got a, this is interesting. And I appreciate this, by the way. The on the bottom of this bracket, it shows you which direction to put it on.
Ah,
So obviously, when you have screws that are jutting up like this, those are what the water block's going to attach to. So you wouldn't put these towards your motherboard. So these circles, these little holes, these are going to go over the nubs that are sticking up from the back plate through the board. And what I was mentioning is it mentions, what I was admiring is how it says CPU etched onto this it's a little bracket, and it shows us which direction this bracket goes on, right? Because you could put it on, in theory, it will line up and screw down this way or this way. And obviously they should be symmetrical and opposed. So they're going to face each other. Did I put this one on instinctively correct? I did not. See, I put it on, it's the way of the Carey. Put it on 180 degrees, wrong direction. So that would go on like this. Now I am curious if in fact that's lining up properly. So I think what I want to do, hey, there's Colin Hunt joining us, and Colin contributes £5. Thank you, Colin. I think what we're going to need to do is lay this flat.
Okay. It's your back.
Well, it's not that heavy yet.
You get that radiator in there, right?
What I'm curious about, what I do with those little
Right
plastic
here.
deals. Okay. So this says CPU is going to go up there. Okay, that seems right. That one will go that way. And then what holds those down? There should be
It's thumb screws, right?
fan screw, radiator screw, and washer. Well, no, the thumb screws will go on to the block traditionally. So power, what's this? Oh, we definitely shouldn't need. Well, this says AM5 thumb screws here. So they did acknowledge AM5 here. Why would AM5 and AMD4 use two different thumb screws if it's the same bracket?
Yeah,
or do
yeah,
they show a different?
AM34, AM35.
What are they showing for AM5? If it's the same bracket, why would the thumb screws be different? Turn back a page. Are we supposed to have a different bracket? Install the AMD mounting bracket. Huh. Okay, go ahead and go forward a page here. That just says for AMD. It doesn't specify AMD 5 or AMD 4. But the thumb screws are different. AMD 4 thumb screws are taller. I wonder if it's just controlling how much pressure gets pushed down. Turn the page one more. Yikes. We recommend installing the pump so that the water pipes of the pump face towards or away from you for optimal performance. Motherboard positioned with rear I/O ports on your left. No, I mean, unless I'm missing something, somebody in the chat knows something I don't. You have two different sets of thumb screws here. Let me bring it up to the camera and show you guys. but apparently we're using the same bracket. So this is our thumb screws for Intel socket 1700 and AM4 socket. These are our thumb screws for the Intel 1200 and AM5. They look awfully similar. Okay, I have no idea. So let's take the AMD 4 parts and the Intel parts. Let's get those out of my face. I'll put them over here, because I don't want them to confuse me any more than they already have. These are the fans to hold, the screws to hold down the fans. These are the radiators to hold on the block. We're not going to put in the block till we put in the radiator first. And then to put in the radiator, get a secure, I'm trying to think how we're going to do this. We're going to secure the fans from this side and then secure the radiator from the other side. So let's do that now.
You're going to use the Milwaukee for all those screws? Yeah.
Yeah. I need the scissors out of there, please.
Scissors.
You know what? Let me move all this too, because we are really, really tight on space here. Gonna be knocking everything over, including you, Mitch. I'll knock you over.
I'm so tall, if I fell over, I'd be halfway home. You know what I mean?
How's the weather up there?
Yeah. Muggy.
It's gonna be muggy. If
Followed by Tugi, Wenge, and Thursday.
All right, so
The long screws.
I'm always
for the
curious
fans,
where they recommend the washer usage. I don't know how
Oh.
required it is, but let's just see what they say.
Well,
here.
if they give them, use them. You mean on the head?
There's washers in here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure if the washers go on the fan side or on the other side. Connect the fans. Yeah. Install the fan screws. Okay, it shows no washers. Then connect the fan cables after you do that. Download the control software. What did I got myself into here?
Yeah. Gonna be one heck of a build, though.
We might be going an hour long on this show just to get this thing booted up.
What
They
are-
don't show how the radiator mounts into the case. What the heck? It shows putting the fans on, but not putting the radiator on. So I assume washers are used on the radiator side for extra support. Because it just
Yeah, vibration.
says install the fan screws. It never tells you to put the radiator in the case. It goes right to the fan cabling. Oh, there it is. Installing the radiator. No washers there either. So, oh wait, oh look, they're putting the washers. Why would they do that? No, those aren't washers. Those are just the holes. Phew. So what are the washers for?
No, I've never seen a USB port with yellow. I'm always used to blue or
There's-
white. What does yellow mean? Twice as fast?
It might be like a port that you can plug your cell phone in and charge when the computer's off. Maybe.
Because it's white. Then it went to blue.
Blue for USB 3.
And now it's yellow.
Hey, John Gardner pops in the chat room. Welcome into John.
I don't know why you would have the washer, because you've got a rubber.
Well, yeah, on the fan side, it wouldn't be necessary.
Sorry.
But maybe if the holes are too big on the case for the heads of the screws. Well, let's go ahead and get these fans secured,
Okay.
because that's easy enough to do. Now, I'm not a big fan when they thread the entire screw. I wish that was mostly all just a shoulder. because only about 3 or 4 millimeters of that screw is going to poke through. And then what I'm going to do is go right to the opposite corner, and that should align all the other holes for us once we get these two started. That, and we don't want to over tighten these because you'll start squishing down this rubber dampener. And that's going to defeat the purpose of vibration noise, why those pieces are there. So these fans don't have to be, please don't tighten them down super tight. Just get them where you get a little resistance on the screw, and that's good enough. Very interesting. John Paul Bacon said the Gigabyte board I had, the yellow ports were for audio. Oh, yeah.
Oh, because
Sometimes
this
they
is
have,
a mixer, yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
So what that's probably for is it doesn't have any voltage.
Ah.
So you don't get any electrical noise in your audio. Thank you, John. I totally forgot about that. And this is a live mixer board, so it's very audio centric. It's the red USB port that'll typically be your always on, sort of just for voltage when the machine's off and you want to charge a phone or something.
Well, while Carey's doing that, Chad, I'm very excited to see my band here, my boys, Toto, I think on March 19th in Tucson, where, you know, Toto's touring next year with Journey, where they're the opening act, but then they're doing shows where they're alone, where they're the sole headliner.
Hey, look at this. Ooh, look at that. The little screen comes off, and there's a little fan on there. Wow, look at how intricate that is.
Ooh.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. And then literally the very next day, I think on March 20th, they're playing here in Scottsdale, Arizona at the casino.
With Journey?
No, just by themselves. And there I got myself a front row ticket. I wish they were still doing the meet and greets, but they've seen enough of me.
You know what? Before I tilt this up,
Yeah.
I never did secure these
No.
adapters to. Screws do they want us to use for that? So when is that?
I think it's March 20th down at the Talking Stick.
The weather should be
And
really nice.
March 19th. They're both indoors, yeah. In Tucson and in Scottsdale. Tucson, I think I got a fifth row seat. Fifth row center was the closest. And then next day in Scottsdale, front row logged right on, right at the 10 a.m. when the tickets went on sale, and snagged myself a
Not exactly like getting Taylor Swift tickets.
front row. No, yeah. My sister-in-law waited, was online 7 hours. Get tickets, kept hitting refresh.
For Taylor
refresh.
Swift?
For Taylor Swift in Denver, yeah. Because she wanted to take her 2 daughters.
I'm a little confused here. I show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If these are 16 screws to hold the radiator in, then where are the 4 screws? In the bag with the brackets. Where did that bag go?
Did I put it in the little black?
I wonder if it had screws in it. We would have taken them out, right?
In the
Because I think those are just for the radiator.
the little black box that you
Yeah,
set
it's over
aside?
here.
Yeah. That's where I put all the bags of screws, yeah.
Well, but this should be
Yeah.
just for the case,
Yeah.
not for the cooler. You shouldn't have any
Nope.
cooler parts in here. Yeah, these are just for the case.
Star Sign, Mitch, what's your favorite Toto song? I have to believe their hit Hold the Line from their debut album.
That's a great song.
And that came out October 30th, 1978. I was in college, and when I heard that, my head exploded. I've been a fan ever since. And these 2 times that I'm seeing them in March will be show number 47 and 48, I guess.
You know, the screws we took out when we took the original brackets off, I think it wants us to reuse those.
Oh, boy.
Got them in the motherboard box.
Yep. But while Carey's looking at that, Chad, I think I told you there's in bars, they have a jukebox called Touch Tunes where you can play songs, you know, for money, of course, but you can, you know, go on your phone and play songs to the jukebox, and then it plays in the bar. So, of course, it's a little like Cheers for me because my local tavern has the Touch Tunes. And I kind of wait outside, and I always put on Toto Africa. So then right when the song starts, I come through the door wearing one of my 52 Toto shirts, and everyone screams, Mitch! So it's a little like Cheers. They're like, Mitch is coming. And then when I was in Vietnam over the summer, you know, somebody always kept playing that, and, you know, as a goof. And then people were looking around, where's Mitch? And they're like, that's not him playing it. He is over in Vietnam. So
Psych.
you got to have entrance music when you go to the bar. And I've had several people, strangers, yeah, the song comes on, I come in wearing a Toto shirt, and the guy looks at the shirt, hears the song, and says, I think I'm in the Twilight Zone. What are the odds? I'm like, oh yeah, what are the odds of that? That he's like, you did that yourself. I'm like, you think? You know?
I know you guys aren't getting much of a view, and I apologize for that, but this really needs to be done with this down, or it's going to make my life very difficult.
And nowhere in the documentation did it say that. Hang on to those bracket screws or whatever. So
Well, the documentation is
figured out.
pretty weak, but it makes sense, you know, logically. When you look at the picture, they look like the same screws.
Mm-hmm.
It just says remove the pre-installed heatsink, and then it says install the AMD mounting bracket. Everything it says underneath that is in multiple languages. So I'm guessing it's just repeating those same things.
Yeah.
So the instructions are a little vague, but I guess if you have a quarter of a brain, you'll figure it out. It's my own self-deprecating humor.
Little weak, like yesterday's coffee.
All right, so here's what we got. So we got the AMD mounting brackets around the CPU's contact frame, with the contact frame on.
Okay.
And then, what the heck is this thing?
2.5-inch drive pages.
These pieces here, see these pieces?
Yeah.
These come off.
For fans?
No, they're not for fans. They might hold 2.5-inch drives because I'm seeing holes.
Yeah, SATA. Yeah.
And we won't reuse these screws. So let me grab another Ziploc bag here. One of the little ones. Thanks. I'm going to hand these to you. I'm going to turn this around so the audience can see what I'm doing here. I need to take these, there's like 3 square plates here. And if you look, they have holes, which looks like it would hold a 2.5-inch drive. Now, I could read the directions, but that's just not my style. Would you grab that plate for me? And then hold on to this plate. Here it comes. There we go. And then give you those. Wow, those are in tight. Let me give you those. All right, and then hold this one. You ready? Last one. There we go. Screw it. And that way our radiator can breathe. That's a unique design. I'll give them credit for originality on that one. And we're going to take, we'll take these plates here. And you know what? They do say, bring this up to the camera. I love it when manufacturers do this. So you don't have to rely on any documentation. It says etched into this bracket or this plate, if it will focus. Come on, camera. It says SSD and it says up. So you get your proper orientation on that. I appreciate that. So remember, all the spare parts, spare screws, all that goes into the motherboard box so that, you know, the next time we do a motherboard upgrade, if we want to switch to an air cooler and put these back and, I don't know, go back to the drives, I suppose. It's one option for us.
Didn't the website say this can take up to 10 fans? I could have sworn, you know, on the little video that you ran at the
Well, it
start
looks
of
like
the
it'll
show.
hold 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, 3 on the back, and 1 in 3 on the side rather, and 1 on the back. So that's 3, 6, 9, 10.
You are correct, sir.
Look at me go with simple addition, huh? Didn't even know I was such a smart fella. So now we set this in. We've got to put the bottom in first, but here's a problem I can already see. I guess we can run the cables off the top because we won't be able to get to the bottom fan to hook the magnetic cable up. Just set that down.
I'll hold it. Or it doesn't come.
Let me just spin this around so everybody can see what we're about to do here. It's gonna look so much red. They're reminding me to take the this plastic off of the radiator. Thank you for that reminder.
Yep.
I suppose we can open this door here. And again, this is on a hinge if we want to remove it, but this can also help with the alignment. Yeah, we definitely want to take this off. But you're going to have overheating problems. You're going to say, Uncle Carey, something's wrong with my build. I'll take that. You know what? I want to put it in a special place for this.
Well, I'll hold it.
Yeah, I almost forgot to take that off. I'm so anxious. I want to fire this thing up now. All right, so now
Oh, you need the Milwaukee again.
I need these little screws. Didn't we have, wasn't there another bag like this? Didn't I just have one? Because we're not going to use these other fans and washers. This is going to be for a push-pull configuration, which I don't want to add that many fans, quite frankly. And oh, this could easily accommodate it if I wanted to do that. Just trying to keep my counter clear, folks. As clear as I can. Yeah, I don't see them using these washers at all. I imagine when you're going to want these washers is if the head of the screw, when you're putting it through your case, if the cutouts in the case are a bit wide and the screw's not sitting flush, it might dip down a bit. Then the washer's going to basically give you a wider surface area for that screw to be flush. So we'll find out if we need them here in a minute. I think we need them. All right. So I think what we need to do how high up can we get this? Do me a favor, go around. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just do it this way. Let's go sideways.
I can lift it up. You
Yeah,
ready?
lift it up.
The
for
whole
me.
smear?
Yeah, the whole thing. Straight up.
Okay.
And I think,
Higher?
well, the problem is we need to attach the cables to the top here, so we need some breathing room.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're going to stay in this range anyway. Let me try this. Go ahead and lift it up now. Keep going.
That'll be tough to get the cable for the fan.
Yeah, but it has to go like the very bottom that I can put this screw in.
Right.
Is at
gotcha.
that altitude
Okay.
right there.
Okay, gotcha.
So if I tighten that one down, I tighten this one down, you can let go.
Screw.
Let's see. Oh, we're okay.
Okay.
Because we got it to go on the top
Yeah,
of the fan.
Right, yeah.
Yep. I can close this, I think. So around this way so the audience can see. And I'll step around here. Now, in theory, everything should be aligned, but I'll still play it cautious and not tighten these screws all the way down. You might have to loosen the two opposite corners here.
Somebody earlier asked who, what model of this. This is Gamdias?
Yeah, all the parts are listed in the video notes below the video, and you'll see links to everything.
Gamdias. Gamdias.
Here you go. You want to hold that up?
Yes.
We've worked with Gamdias. We used a case from them back at Studio A. That was a computer that originally went to Mara a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
We built it? You built it?
I don't know if you were there. That'd have been
that long ago?
might have been before Mitch.
Hmm.
Like BC, BM.
BF.
Oh, that's not quite aligned.
Oh boy. Mm.
So do me a favor,
Yeah.
grab the radiator
Yeah.
and see if you can just move it.
That way?
Yeah, see if it'll move. Might have the screws too tight.
Nope.
Let's loosen this one because that should be the only tight one. Oh, I saw it move that time.
Oh, okay.
It's better. The radiators are made of a soft material, so you don't want to cross thread. See, now the top, can you try again? Move it to,
To my left?
yes. Just on this side here, just to be sure. There
There,
it
yeah.
goes.
I
That's
want,
why you don't tighten them
Yeah.
down.
I want to know what's going to show up on this little TV screen.
Okay,
on the
you
water
can
block.
look.
Yeah, on the water block.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, there's Planet Kairos with a $5 contribution. Just popped in to say hi.
7,
Great looking build. Love the colors
8,
and tons of room.
10, 11, 12.
There she is. Nice.
How much did I spend for all this?
Too much.
It's over 2,000.
Oh, yeah.
Just checking in on the chat room there. All right, let's take a look now with regards to putting the block on. As I mentioned, the little screen here comes off, I guess, to make installation easier. But it's still wired in. Not exactly sure why that would be a benefit unless you had to change that fan. Wait, do we want this with the hoses spacing down? Hoses phasing to the right. Well, now wait a minute. If this is on here, which way is the right side up?
It's true.
So if this goes on this way by default, then that would imply our fan, our hoses would be facing down. I gotta say, I think that looks pretty good. If we go back to the AMD product page, I'm wondering if they show it installed. Again, I don't know that there's really a wrong way to do this, but I want to go with the manufacturer's marketing company's aesthetic. So if that's what they chose for the best possible photo,
Okay.
then I want the best possible looks, right? Like they did. So let me go back over to Amazon here. They don't show it installed. But the picture does, you know, when it's showing the cooler
Yep.
like by itself,
Yep.
they do have the hoses on the bottom because obviously that's how the screen is right side up.
Mhm.
And I'm sure in the software you can rotate the screen,
Yeah,
but we're going to put it in that way. So let me go back over here. Just in case you want to see that. That's what I'm looking at. Just shows the hoses facing down. So that's how we're going to do it. Now, because we already have thermal compound applied, this part should be really easy. All we have to do is take the little plastic cover off the bottom of the heatsink, the water block, and secure it down with these thumb screws. That I will... I'll be brave.
Yeah.
Brave or stupid?
Live dangerously.
Is it brave or stupid? Jury's out. In fact, let me have you come over here and you can help me out with this. Looks like we don't have any cables to attach to it. It's already got the cables coming out. Take the cover off, that exposes our thermal compound. We align this over.
And hold it.
Yeah, but push it in as you're holding it.
Yep.
I understand now why that top comes off.
You got it?
Yeah, go ahead and let it go. Take this off. Does seem to be blocking the screwdriver.
Got you. Now you're not on the...
Now go ahead and push that in and hold it. Now I understand why that comes off.
Yep.
I need to get to the bottom left corner that you are blind. Let's trade places. There we go.
No, I'm off. Am I on? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you, oh, wait a minute.
No, I'm off. I'm off. Yeah.
Go ahead and let it go for a second.
On the bottom here. There, yep. Yep. Yep.
But I need your hand up above, like where mine is.
Okay. No. Yep. No.
You're not using enough muscles.
You're all right on the bottom right.
So normally you'd lay the case down flat to do this, which I probably should have done. Now you should be able to let it go. Perfect. Watch your step there. Lots of cables on the floor. Of course, I'm just starting these. I am not tightening them down. This one's going to be a fun one to get to.
Paul Connolly, my 5-year-old grandson says this computer is faster than my Mac Studio because it's red.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Red hot. It's going to be screaming fast. I guarantee you that. Need some light?
No, it's just not quite in line. Getting in its own way.
Yeah, this should have been a Christmas build. All right.
Kind of is.
Yeah. At least the holiday build.
Peel that off. Should be another peel here. Hey, hey, hey.
You ought to be able to get Buck Rogers on that TV screen. Come in, come in.
Biggie, biggie, biggie,
Maybe.
biggie.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Theopolis. What's his name? Dr. Theopolis?
Oh, power supply. Can't turn it on without power.
Well, no, but
No.
we're not done yet because we have to hook the fans up.
And RAM. Mm-hmm.
And we have to put the RAM in. What do you think, Mara?
Oh, sleeping.
Yeah, I probably would fall asleep myself. You know, it's
It's your
much
voice.
more exciting
Yeah,
to do it
yeah.
than it is to watch.
Haven't you always wanted to be a hypnotist? Or you're getting sleep. Sleep.
All right, I'm in the back office.
Oh.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Oh, that is amazing. That is the perfect
Yeah.
case. Perfect.
Once-
Everything about that and that cooler is awesome.
Once you get that RAM in there with the lights.
If I can figure out how to get this cable out of the bag.
Mitch, can you take a peek out the line?
You're gonna look for Studio Cat?
Yeah. Waiting at the door. No?
No.
Well, you'd know it if he was there.
Yeah, that's for
You just see his stalking eyes back at you. I've never had such a hard time getting a cable out of a bag before. What did they do? Melt into it?
Where's your blade?
Well, I don't want to use a blade next to these cables.
Yeah. Scissors?
But it's like it's
Oh, yeah.
somehow. Oh, I see. The magnet kind of pinched it.
Did- And the fans light up as well? They're RGB? too?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this price.
Yeah. Better.
And this motherboard has that, the case supports the USB Type-C, so I can get my 2000 megabytes per second because the board has one USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, and it's that front port only. So are both of these the same? Isn't that fascinating? So one is an ARGB header, and the other's a 4-pin fan header. And this is same exact thing. So one of these goes up here onto the, how do you know this way or the other? Doesn't matter. Oh, that's opposing. It's pushing back, like have an opposite.
Okay.
Is that because it's like, nope, I'm not. So then this one would be, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that one's going right to there. But what aligns it? That's what I'm concerned about. See a couple of pins sticking out, but the fan appears completely smooth. Probably should have looked at this before I installed it. That's okay. We're not doing it the hard way. We're not doing it the Carey way. Oh, there's a little nub. There's a hole.
Ah,
So I was putting in, it's got to go in horizontal, vertically. I was trying to put it in horizontally. Yeah, it locks right in.
Shazam.
And that keeps us from installing it wrong.
Will that run all 3 fans
Yeah, it should.
Because they're magnetically
Then what's this other one for, right?
on the bottom that you
Well,
can't
no,
reach?
because we shouldn't be.
Oh.
It should. All the fans are connected to one
Yeah,
another.
so
So
yeah, we'll see.
what's the other connector for? Oh, I guess if you're going to do a push-pull.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, push pull.
configuration.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't
Gotcha.
need this cable. So then the ARGB header. Let's see, what do we have coming out here? We have a USB port and a fan header. Oh, so these don't connect together. Okay. So be it. Let's bring this around. So this is a regular USB header, which we can plug into any USB port down here. We've got a couple. Either one will work. Other cable, this is a typical 4-port fan header, which right up here on the top right of the motherboard, it says CPU fan / WP. That would be water pump.
Okay.
So water pump is where we're going to plug this in so it gets full voltage. Normally fans speed up and slow down. They do that by increasing and lowering the voltage. But you want your pump running at full speed at all times. That in here. And then as far as the fans go, we have an ARGB header, which this motherboard should support ARGB somewhere.
Need some light.
Oh, I see addressable LED 2 up here. Where is addressable? Looks like it's all the way down at the bottom. So this one's going to be, I'm going to worry about making it look pretty later. Oh, and there's an addressable LED 3. So I'll put this on 3, which is way up at the top. Okay. No, like I said, we'll clean up the cabling later. And then we have fan power. So that's the RGB lighting. Fan power needs to go. Have any fan headers on this side of the board? So normally what we would do, and I can just take care of this now, is we would run this. This little grommet. I'll take that.
More.
You're missing one. There we go.
Yep.
Go ahead and pull that through.
Yep.
And then feed it up here for the ARGB. Have any fan headers up here except for CPU? That's okay. We'll use the CPU fan. It's not gonna hurt. I mean, technically, it is our CPU fan. And again, I might likely will rearrange this cabling. Just want to see this thing run. You can go through all this and it won't boot.
Have faith. Mm-hmm.
I don't rely on faith. I rely on skill. Is that cocky enough? Okay, so for the people watching at home wondering what the heck I was doing that whole time, we got our cables hooked up. And then what I'm going to do with this, probably should read the documentation just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure this is for the push-pull config. Can't imagine. We've got everything hooked up, so. I believe. Now we can put the RAM in, followed by the power supply. Got 383 people watching all over the world. Feel nervous?
No.
Being judged.
I'm used to people staring at me on film cassettes.
What about just walking down the street?
Would they hire that bonehead? Acting? John Lovitz. Actor.
I'm going to just tie this up and get it. Okay, just temporarily. We're not going to keep it this way. Now, I know what you're all waiting to see. This really bizarre RAM.
With the I never seen RAM with the fans.
RAM with a fan.
RAM with fans.
When you want to spend an extra $100,
Okay.
Ow.
Need a knife? Well, that nail will come off. I gotta see this. Ooh.
You want to see one?
Yeah, hold it up. Show the folks at home.
Here,
I like it. Mm.
our RAM.
Are you sure those are fans? Yeah, I see little fins. Yeah.
What else would they be?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're fans. If you look in an angle, they're like little cage style fans.
Yeah. I, of course, can't get mine. I give up. All right. Oh, you're supposed to hold the tab.
Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. When have I been somebody who does things the way you're supposed to? Look how
Ooh,
tall that
that
RAM
is.
is. So how the heck, let's see. This is DDR5. And we gotta go to the second one. Hoses kind of get in the way a little bit.
You want to set it flat? I think you can do it.
Should be this upright. Like, could use a light. Would you grab that light behind you there for me and then just shine it in? There we go. Now I can see which way do these fans.
Aziz.
Yeah, Aziz. I missed my opportunity.
I got to rewatch that in my screening room on the big screen. You know,
That was a great movie.
with all those weird looking. I mean, Chris Tucker steals a movie. He really
He
does.
was so annoying.
He was so annoying.
Of course,
Gary
wasn't he
Oldman.
annoying?
Gary Oldman with those big fake teeth.
Gary's the best.
Yeah.
I can't tell if I'm lined up there or not.
You can't see the notch?
No, can you see it?
No.
It does look like it's lined up. Okay, there's one. Paul Connolly wants to know if this will make coffee. We do have one that looks like a coffee maker. That
Yeah.
one's going to our friend Gregory Howard. Oh, look, little fan spinning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice. Won't those make a buzzing sound when they ramp up?
They should be completely
Yeah.
silent. Let's see how much they took me to the cleaners, huh?
Yeah.
No. Okay. RAM is installed.
Now a red power supply that I've never seen in my entire life.
Well, you don't get out much, do you?
No. Not when you have a screening room. 2,000 Blu-ray.
I don't blame you. Actually, I probably would do the same.
1,500 DVD.
DVDs aren't HD, though. That's not good enough for my
Yeah.
snobby
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. He's all about the 4K.
Well, no, I don't really see any difference between 4K and 1080. It must be my old eyes, but I definitely 1080
Yeah.
is my world.
Well, chat, your Uncle Mitch here in April is thinking about getting what they call RLE. I am so sick of glasses, and I only wear contact lenses when I'm acting. So RLE, refractive lens exchange, where they will give me 2 new lenses and fix my astigmatism and give me 20/20 vision. I'll never have any cataracts. And when I found out the price, it certainly opened my so I will go for a consultation.
Well, you should only have it done once, though, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you got an extra set of eyeballs.
Yeah.
Well, stuff like that, they usually just do one eye at a time, right?
Yeah, I think, and then you come back the next day for the second one, so you don't have to wait that long.
Paul says we're going to use the exhaust heat to heat the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Well, the Arizona sun does a pretty good job at that. Okay, so in the box, not too fancy from Cougar here. Pretty simple packaging. Power cable. This is semi-modular, so we've got the motherboard power cable permanently connected to the power supply. And we have a Velcro tie with the Cougar branding on it. This thing might be old inventory. It's pretty beat up. This has a 3-year warranty, but I might have eaten up 2 years of that just having it in stock, not using it.
I like opening. That's not red. That's burnt orange.
All right, well, you know,
Close enough.
Uncle Carey might be a little bit colorblind and a little bit deaf
That's Steve.
and one foot in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a...
The other on a banana peel. All right.
So in theory now, we have our 4 screws. Let's see. Throw time. Screws. Move this over here with the rest of our spare parts. Just really working hard to keep this counter clear.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me step around and see. We definitely don't want the fan blowing towards the motherboard. Sorry, the fan's going to be drawing air in, so we want this to be able to get fresh air. So for that, we're going to mount it this way. Yeah, you're right. It is burnt orange. But it's still not black. Start there. That one didn't feel like it went in straight, so I don't want to. That's why I got my torque setting so low.
At 3, not 1, not 4.
Yeah, see, they're like,
3.
it's bizarre. They're not going straight, or the threads aren't. Yeah, none of these are going in smoothly. So when that happens, just double check this one. I can do one of two things. I can turn it manually, or I can brute force it.
Yeah, because you've got quite a bit of...
Yeah, I just think because they're new.
Right. It did look red on the page, on the Amazon page. It did look red to
No,
me.
I knew it was burnt
Oh,
orange because
burnt
we've got
orange, yeah.
the same one in the robot's foot there. We got a nice big chunky on-off switch here.
Okay.
And the black matches the back. No one's going to see this part
Yeah.
anyway, honestly. Unless you're working on it. We're going to have that big cover on the back. Let me hand that back to you. And then we're going to hook up motherboard and CPU power here. Now, I don't know if this Ryzen processor requires both of those power connectors for the CPU. Oh, you know what? It gives us graphics power too. But they gave us 2 anyway, so even better. We've got 2 EPS power connectors, which I'm going to give to you right here. Pull that through. So, and then let me step around. Would you grab that light for me again, please? One. There's 2. Pull this. Pull the slack there. I mean, the power supply is kind of close in color.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mara? Right answer.
It
That's good.
better be for too large.
All right, so this is our USB audio. Where's my panel switch?
Are you going to feed those through?
Oh, is that all I get? I just get power switch. So this case doesn't have a hard drive LED, a power LED, or a reset switch. Apparently, all I see is that right? There's no LEDs on this? That's crazy. You'd think the switch would light up or something.
Yeah, you would think.
Okay, well, so power switch got to be hooked up. Be able to turn it on without that. That should go, in theory, right there. And then I'm not going to hook up any of the USB because I'm too anxious to get started on this. I just want to make sure there's no other front panel.
Oh, I don't see it.
And then finally, we have the
24 pin.
yeah, the big motherboard power connector to go on. Should be right around here. Nailed it. Boy, having this open is so handy. I can tell you. You likey. What's for dinner? Did you want wings?
I'm thinking about it. Come January 1st, I'm going on the Gandhi diet again.
Gandhi diet?
Yeah.
Are you waiting on peace?
No. Doctor said I got to lose 10 pounds.
Oh. We'll cut off your arm.
You got 2 of them.
Yeah.
I just got to cut out the blue moons.
Well, do they have blue moon light?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm so glad that I don't.
You like
Find that stuff.
You like wine, no?
No, not wine at all.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
I
drink
don't-
a beer from time to
Yeah.
time, maybe socially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not.
No, I
much of
took a sip of wine. I don't like it at all. Now again, maybe it was Boone's Farm.
You could take
Does
some.
that- Was
Kool-Aid and don't rub in alcohol.
Annie Green Springs, does that date me?
I was probably going to say $1 Chuck.
Was it Bartles and James? Oh no, those were wine
Oh
coolers.
yeah, Bartles and James. I could do those.
Really? You liked
sure.
them when they're icy
I
cold?
was a young 20-something, maybe late
Whippersnapper?
teens when those came out.
Did you? Yeah. Love the flavor.
Yeah, it wasn't so harsh.
Hey, what do you
All
need?
right, so
Smoke
power,
test, folks, coming up. You need an HDMI out.
HDMI.
Power.
I
What do you
need that
think?
Keyboard and mouse that's behind you.
Keyboard and mouse that's behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Two grunts and a groan to bend over. All right, yeah. Yeah. Gonna hit the gym a lot. Gonna
Which
hit,
USB port should I use?
yeah. Gonna
Four,
hit the gym a lot more in January.
So just back here, we've got 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 USB ports just on the back plate.
Cool.
Then we've got 3 USB ports up front. That's 16. And then we have 4 more USB ports up front. So that's 20. Maybe we get to 23. Where's the other 3? Somebody said 23.
You did.
Was it me?
No, I thought it was, yeah, on the
Get
advertising.
this out of the All right, this is the big moment,
This
and
is
we're going
it.
to be 10 minutes shy of being a 3-hour broadcast instead of a 2-hour.
Then we're gonna have to turn the lights down and really see. I want to see what comes up on that little TV screen. On the
Yeah, me
CPU.
too. Well, we're going to have to download the software. for
Oh,
that,
yeah.
too.
That's right.
Let's do
I'll let you.
HDMI input.
I'll let you do the honors on this one.
Okay, we ready?
Because if it blows up, it's all on you.
Based on where you're standing, it'll be on you.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally.
All over.
Let's make sure the power supply switch is in the on position. Good. That's an 850 watt power supply. I don't know if I mentioned.
Now I'll give you a sound effect.
And RGB on the motherboard started up.
And on the CPU block. Nice.
Mara.
Yeah.
Woo! You're missing it.
Yeah.
I heard my name.
Now that's the bomb. I'll give you that. Yeah. Awesome.
Look at the little fans turning on the
Wait,
right.
turn it.
Yeah.
Turn it.
Whoa, I got a breeze coming through here.
Yeah.
Wow, that's got some.
Pull or put.
Well, now, wait a minute. I'm not getting a post here. So, here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go.
Mr. Impatient. All right. Awesome.
Why don't you grab the close-up camera? Let's take a close-up look at what these.
Okay.
Put her to work.
Yeah.
She's had enough
Yeah.
time off.
Oh, there's 3, 4. Well, there's your, oh, right.
Look at
there.
that
Yeah.
BIOS. Oh my gosh.
Red again?
Yeah, it says LiveMixer across the side of it. Look at that.
Awesome.
Close-up camera.
Come on up.
Turn the lights down and get a good look-see. Ooh. Nice. Huh, folks?
Fancy.
Take a look at the RAM.
With the little spinning fans, yeah, on them. You know, it's not silent, but it's for all those fans going, it's quiet. You put
Well,
the panels on and
Yeah, I was going to say, what way did we put the panels on? So Scott says that'll look good on Marlina's desk.
So true. Wow.
I think I have a BIOS update already downloaded on
Oh,
the flash
yeah.
drive. Let's see. How's that for a big blowout
That
build?
yeah.
perfect.
All right, we're going to go back to camera 1 now.
So
Thank
We'll
you.
need our fireworks.
he can update the BIOS.
And we'll turn off close-up camera. Back to the
Ready?
HDMI. Yeah, you're good. Let me turn these lights back up.
Back on.
And then turn off camera 1 for a second. Thank you. Let's see. Tool. RGB LED instant plug. Yeah, I found it. Doing the BIOS update.
No touchy.
Hey, first time we turn it on,
Yeah.
fired right up. Now I put this Gatorade here and it's been getting warm. I haven't even, I took 2 sips. It's already gone warm on me.
Swap it out.
All right, we're just going to wrap up the video here as soon as we tell you what we're going to do. We'll let this BIOS update complete. We'll throw Windows 11 on here, and then we're going to say goodbye for the day. So that's going to put us just a little bit after 4 o'clock Phoenix time. A long show for us, but it is the big build.
Friday,
So we'll have the show run a little bit longer than normal, just to make sure that we wrap up at a nice closed chapter space, because what will remain I can do off camera, just plugging in the USB plugs, cable management, putting the panels back on, and we're done. But what's great is you do have room for the 3.5-inch drives if you want to throw a couple 22 terabytes in there. We have room for 2 more M.2 drives.
Be a heck of a build. Yeah.
And the M.2 drive we got in there is 4 terabytes that runs 12,400 megabytes per second. Of course, we have to remember to download the AMD Adrenalin software. We want to get all the performance out of this chip. Dan Nelson says, I'm not usually a fan of RGB, but this time I think it's nice with RGB. David Graham says, no graphics card. We might add a graphics card later, but given the limited time we have in today's show, and I'm not quite sure what purpose this computer is going to serve, we will likely end up putting a pretty nice RTX in there. But what a shame to not use the graphics that's built onto that chip, because it's fairly decent.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Baggett says, very nice. Peter VZ with a €1 contribution. Thank you, Peter. Bill Sony T says, I wish I could afford it, but maybe someday. Hey, Amazon has layaway. Andy Crabtree says, the light looks like a laser welder. Douglas Burchell says, no smoke.
Oh.
Frank Jimmy says, you can't see me, but I am giving this build a standing ovation. Patrick Grusow says, it's a beautiful build. Paul Connolly says, absolute beast. Garfield Rupe says, that computer is neat, Uncle Carey. Andy Crabtree mentioned Mad Dog 2020. That's the stuff.
Yeah. God.
We do have another show scheduled for tomorrow. We're going to go over Universal Restore with the Cronus. I don't know that I've demonstrated it before. And that'll be our last video for the year. And our thanks to the folks at Acronis for sponsoring us and for making sure you guys will have a discount all year round. 30% off of Acronis. We'll talk more about that tomorrow.
I've got mine set up to back up the first day of every month at 5:30 in the morning, which I'm never up because I always get a tight 10 hours.
Tight 10?
Tight 10 hours. So usually get up. Well, I don't, like you, I'm a night owl. I don't go to bed till 1:30, but
that's nothing. Just 1 or 1:30?
Oh,
not 3?
Are you a 3? Yeah.
No, I used to be. Nowadays.
Yeah. Now you're older. All right.
Nowadays it's midnight and I'm like,
yeah.
Start winding down.
The Geritol is wearing. There's a reference.
That 85-year-old man goes to the doctor and he says, how you feeling? He says, I'm good. He goes, how's your BMs?
Yeah.
He goes, I go like clockwork every day at 7 a.m. The doctor says, that's great. He goes, no, it's not great. I don't get up till 8.
Okay, our BIOS is all
All right, so
set.
I'd have to check the website again just to see if I have the latest BIOS, but we definitely have a newer one.
Newer.
I'm kind of curious, since this RAM runs at 8,000 megahertz, potentially it goes that high, how high it will see this board go to. I really shouldn't turn on XMP at this point, or DOHC, or whatever they're calling it. Should be some profiles here. Profile performance mode. DRAM performance mode. Okay, don't see where we see profile 1 or profile 2. This is like manually. Oh wow, look how it goes up to 16,000. I thought 8,000 was. I mean, Ben Laird wants to know the total cost. We're not sure yet.
Over two.
Yeah, it was over $2,000.
Yeah. So
We've got all the parts listed in the video notes. If you click on each of those parts and add them to your cart and then see what your cart total is, you don't have to check out, you know. Save changes and exit. And where's my Windows 11? Let's plug that in now so that when it reboots, start our Windows 11 install. There we go. And when I hook up that USB Type-C in the front, and I use my external SSD SanDisk Extreme Pro, that's 4 terabytes, that should transfer data at 2,000 megabytes per second through the USB.
Ooh.
Which prior to that, I was getting 1,000 through USB 3. So this doubles it to 2,000. Now, this build was made possible through your contributions and your membership. So some people are saying, well, it's expensive and it's more money than mine. But I want you to be aware that without your contributions and without your support, this would have been a completely different build. I initially tried to keep the builds around or under $1,000. But as you guys kept contributing, there was a lot of generosity around Christmas time. You know, special shout out to folks like Buster, our good friend Peter, Frankie B, Mortant. There have been a few others, Gregory Howard, that have been very generous. So that allowed me to keep increasing the budget. I increased the budget on it twice. As a result, I'm going to have an extra case that I definitely made the right decision by getting this case. You want Windows 11 Pro? Let's see how fast this installs. Off to the races.
Oh, this won't take 60 seconds.
Douglas Burchell said, if this build is still around by June or July of next year, I want it. Well, do follow up with me. I may not want to part with it.
Yeah.
I might just become an AMD fan before this is all over. I'd like to stream with it just to see, you know, to live with it for a while. And that's if Mara doesn't take it from me. And of course, you guys have the parts list, so you can buy all these parts the same way I bought them.
Watch the video.
I don't really have anything here that's exclusive or hard to find. So my only advice to you is I wouldn't buy any parts in advance other than the case and power supply, because the motherboard is subject to change in price, as the CPU is subject to change in price. Unfortunately, if you hold off on the motherboard, it may not be available in the future. So maybe you could buy that in advance if you really were fixated on this board. But if you do all that, by the time you finish buying all your parts, you might just be building an obsolete computer because the 8000 series will. But I'm glad to see that so many of you like it. And again, when contributions come in, I use them all to the channel. All keeps financing different equipment for different builds. And we have a really, really cool mini PC coming up. I can't wait to show you next year. hopefully the first week of next year. It is the coolest thing. Mitch has seen it.
Yep.
And everybody that's seen this little mini PC falls in love with it. And it runs about $1,500, this mini PC. So it's a little over the top gaming mini PC with like a 3080 laptop mobile GPU in it. It is really cool. Oh, and then I have another mini PC coming that I ordered from AliExpress. That's this really cool looking mini PC. It's nothing special internally, but the externals on it are just spectacular. Also, we've got mini PCs being sent to us from Minis Forum. They have a couple of new models coming out. And Geekcom. I think that's it. Put Mara to work on basically pestering the mini PC manufacturers to send us units. I don't have time to do everything. So it's nice to have her be able to reach out to the manufacturers and see if they'll cooperate and send us items for review. Shop Persian Rugs with a $2 super chat says, I wish you all, as well as chat, a Happy New Year. Well, thank you, Shop Persian Rugs. Back at you, my friend. Price Star Man says we need a video card. Yeah, we will likely put a video card in here. We have plenty of room. Be ashamed to kind of not use one. And it looks like we've got a little space down here. Uh-oh. Why is there water on the bottom of my case? There's water down here.
It's not good.
Did that come from the pump? Right below the pump.
Uh-oh.
Nothing's wet.
Well, here, let me give you the light.
See the water here?
Yeah. It's directly under. Can you look under there? You can't.
Yeah, that's dry. So where's it coming from?
Check this hose. Feel that hose all over.
It's dry.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see if that. It's a little teeny tiny puddle here, and it has little splatters like it's fallen from. What happens if I pull this top out? Weird. Well, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. All right, now who wants to buy it? Price just went down.
But that's clear. Wouldn't there the fluid be a color? Isn't that running? That's not running clear water, distilled water through
That
there. Is
doesn't
it?
feel like water.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Come on.
Hmm.
Yep. $400 cooler. That's not acceptable. Let me switch over to camera one here. Obviously, that's good. Yeah, there's something.
Yeah.
It's not just water.
No, and it's obviously
feels-
coming from the pump. We didn't spill any water.
But it's not pouring out.
No,
So I don't
no.
know what that's all about. Let me grab the close-up camera and I'll show the audience at home. Turn this on.
Which one do I click on?
Let me see that mouse. I'll take care of it. Let's go to no, close-up camera. Even I get it wrong.
And if they can't see it, I'll give you
Yeah,
a
go ahead
light.
and shine the
Yeah.
light in there for me. It's right behind these cables. The water. Directly above pipes.
And splatter, yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of splatter around it.
Odd.
Not much.
No,
I don't know.
just the pressure of the startup.
That's what I'm hoping. That's
yeah.
all it is. We'll got to keep an eye on that because that could be a serious problem.
Oh yeah, that lets go. But do they fill them pretty full? So then on startup.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
What am I on the? Oh, there's our views. 346. Yeah, it's not much, but there shouldn't be any at all. That's a sealed, factory sealed cooler.
Yep. It's not getting bigger.
No. Very strange. All right, so let's just take a look at our specifications just to make sure we're seeing our components correctly. Let me go full screen here on desktop. Me. Right click, device manager. So we got some drivers to load. And I just want to make sure it sees our CPU correctly. Processor. Think we have enough cores?
Yeah.
And then RAM. Guess I should have done it this way. Just go to System. This will show us our CPU. 32 gigs of RAM. Wow, I spent that much money for 32 gigs of RAM. Sucker born every day.
Yep.
Windows 11 Pro 23H2. And if I grab my utilities, just to see where we're idling temperature-wise.
I'm seeing more.
Well, that's coming from over here, though. How did it get over there?
I don't know. I mean, there were speckles. Now I got a puddle or a little pool.
The hoses aren't wet. Hoses aren't wet at all. We have a mystery.
Yes. Keep an eye on it.
Oh, yeah. I just drag out the typical things I install here. Get out of the way. See where our temps are. We were nice and chilly. Look at that. 25 degrees centigrade. I mean, that's chilly. So I will say I've been very impressed with the effectiveness of the ASUS cooler since I worked on that server from Serve the Home.
Yep.
They had that big ASUS cooler on it, which is why I was like, hey, that's keeping that Threadripper nice and cool. And that's a special cooler. It's got a bigger plate on it for Threadripper. The one thing I want to do before we wrap it up is just make sure we're getting our 12,400 or at least somewhere near that in our Gen 5 SSD speed. See what happens here. we'll go ahead and run this full test, and then we'll end up leaving it on that note here. And we'll just keep an eye on that. It doesn't,
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let me grab a little paper towel. We'll wipe that up. And then if we see anything new,
Right, leave it, yeah.
because I think that part you're seeing was already there.
Okay.
12,419. It's even better than what they say it can do. All right, right there. Or is it when I turned it on, you had a mouthful of water and you spit it out because you
No.
were so impressed?
Yeah, spit take, no.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and for all of your support, all of your contributions. While we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody who has given us a contribution today. In fact, let me go back to my phone and start there. Got to get my glees. Let's turn this around. There's not much to look at on that angle. $10 from our good friend Michael Dane. Thank you, Michael.
The man.
And again to Dan Nelson with his $30 PayPal contribution. Thank you to Cowboy Rowdy once again for the $50 Amazon gift card and a $50 Amazon gift card from Mark Gaines. Thank you, Mark. And then for our super chats, don't mind me as I go from picking the wrong mouse to the other wrong mouse. Start at the beginning with Ratap Gunrig becoming a brand new member, as did Jeremy Kramer. Welcome, new members. And speaking of memberships, through this list here to see. Nick Caffrey's also a new member. David Graham renews memberships, now a member for 4 months. And then as far as the super chats, a thank you goes out to Ben Laird with £2, joining us from Scotland. Mike Visions in the UK. Alan Lindas right here in Arizona. PSC Computers, Missouri. Sharp Persian Rugs. Our friend Mark Gaines with a super chat contribution, along with that Amazon gift card. Randy Roblowski and David Graham. Cowboy Ruddy not only gave a $50 Amazon gift, $20 super chat contribution. Thanks, guys. Here's our friend Buster, Peter Laycock, with a £10 contribution early. Our friend Douglas Burchell and Roy Starman. Hey, with these kind of contributions, maybe we can afford a video card. That'll cost as much as the whole computer.
Yeah.
Craig Casabona and Paul Connolly, thank you for your super chat contributions, as well as David Graham, Colin Hunt, and Planet Cryos. Peter VZ and Shop Persian Rugs once again with final contributions there. Computer went to sleep because I didn't adjust the power settings. Wiggle the mouse to wake it up. It's going to be a little delayed because it's busy doing that hard drive test. There it is. 11,695 on the writes, 12,400 on
That's
the reads,
impressive.
Yeah.
and
Good stuff.
I'm not seeing any more water
Nope.
down here. What do you think, Mara?
I absolutely love it.
So the case was we hemmed and hawed over the case for 3 days
At least.
and was very hesitant. And I picked it out. Well, first I found the cooler, and I wanted a case where I could put this cooler in vertically where you could see it. And the height case, which is initially, the height has one that looks just like this, says it only supported a 280 there, or 260. Otherwise, it'd have to go on the top, and I just think that'd be a shame to hide this. Now, when we load the ASUS software up for this, we'll be able to control that screen there on the water block. And the system's nice and quiet, so it not only has the looks, but it has the power to match. Again, we've got to put the AMD Adrenalin software on there to get the best performance out of this. And that's going to take some time to get all the Windows updates and such. So we'll do that off camera. And then likely when I show you this again, it should be all cable managed with the panels on it and finished up. And I will use this. My plan is to do a couple of streams. Maybe this will become the new streaming computer. So we're off to a good start. AMD's come a long way. Last few times I built AMDs, had some struggle getting them going. RAM compatibility, BIOS updates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As AMD continues to refine their CPUs and come out with new models, things should be getting easier. It certainly has. So I'm glad to say that and see that. Frankie B with $4.99 said, here's my late fee and good job. Another shout out and thank you to Frankie B. He's been very, very generous recently. And, without Frankie B, without Buster, our friend Peter Laycock, our friend John Jack Wilson, Mortant, we've had a few infrequent but large contributions from other viewers like Jefferson Creel, also our good friend Gregory Howard, who I owe a computer to, maybe two. He's been very generous. And it's through your super chats, even those super chats of smaller amounts, they add up quickly, and your Amazon gift cards and your memberships all help to fund this so that I'm not here, you know, on behalf of Gamdias telling you, you know, twisting your arm about how amazing the case is. I genuinely like this case. I bought this case of my own free will. Every single part you see on this build was bought and paid for. Nothing was sent from any manufacturers. So if you ask, what would Carey buy, you know, to build an AMD build? What case would I use? What power supply? You now have the answers to all that. All the links in the video notes below the video. Patrick Manny contributes $2 here in Super Chat. He says another late fee. We are back again tomorrow, so I'm not going to say Happy New Year.
No.
I'll say it tomorrow.
No.
I'll say it to you.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody joins us tomorrow. If not, well, then Happy New Year.
Yeah.
But I hope you'll join us tomorrow as we cover the Acronis Universal Restore process and how that enables you to move your complete operating system and programs to an entirely different system, even going from Intel to AMD to Intel. It allows that. It's not necessarily a good idea. Sometimes you get stability issues, but do know that it's possible. And I'll demonstrate how to do that tomorrow.
And other than that, chat, at the end of next month, the end of January, I will have a new acting clip for you. I go to LA Friday, January 19th, where I play an undercover cop sitting in a car with a very young partner who's a little green. I'm, of course, the guy with a month left till I retire, so I'm that grizzled, although I don't look grizzled, but I'm
Sounds like Lethal Weapon going on there.
yeah, little Lethal Weapon, but yeah, we shoot Saturday, January 20th in Los Angeles.
Squirrel wanted me to tell you he thinks you're nuts.
Oh, okay.
Yay! Thanks everybody for hanging out and joining us for today's big build blowout for the end of the year. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, I hope you guys like it too. We'll follow up with this once it's all buttoned up and run some benchmarks on it. And who knows, maybe even, maybe I'll get a GPU on there.
That's right.
Very expensive. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully, you'll be back tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock Arizona time. That's 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, as our last show of the year. And then, of course, we hope you'll join us in 2024, where we've got a great lineup already scheduled for the first week. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me, Mitch.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, camera girl.
You're welcome.
Also, she did a great bang-up job on that thumbnail, didn't she?
Yep.
And let me go full screen on camera one. Proper goodbye. Wrong keyboard. That should be my name. Wrong keyboard Carey. There we are. One final good last look here. System before all the panels go on. And let me find an outro. Yeah, I think we'll do that. All right. Thanks for watching, and
We'll see you soon.
That's not what I say.
Oh, thanks for watching and bye for now.
He's got it.